All right, guys, what's going on? It's Tuesday night. Sure, we're a little bit later than normal, but
Yeah.
you'll still get all the great content that you normally get each week with us. So, wait, looks like Dylan's little video went out, but joined by Jordan, Dylan, of course. So, how you guys doing?
I'm, I thought Mr. Dillon is with us today. Are you good? I
Uh,
think he's frozen a little bit, but he was
yeah, you
good, but then
might.
he was kind of like. But I mean, I'm doing good. I mean,
Yeah,
holidays are coming around the corner. Christmas is around the corner. Another time to be with family. I think it's the last podcast before the holidays. I think Christmas is Sunday, right? I believe
yep.
it's
Next
Sunday, and
time,
then
next time we're together will be
it'll be the
after
new year.
Christmas.
Yes, sir.
Well, no, we still have another one before the New Year.
Well, which show?
The next
Because
show
it's a
that we
Christmas.
do will be after Christmas, before New Year's, and then the one after that will be after
Oh,
New
so New Year's
Year's.
is on Wednesday, or New Year's Day
Um,
is on, and New Year's Eve is on
New Year's is the following Sunday.
following Sunday. Damn.
Yeah. Oh wait, Dylan, can't hear you.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. So we have one more Tuesday show before the. Got you. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm doing good, man. I think I'm officially done with my classes for the semester, so I'm graduating next year. No more classes to take. I think I've fulfilled all my requirements. Pending all my, once my teachers submit their final grades to the website, school website, I should be done. So I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to building this show and the podcast for the future. And I'm ready to, get it going, man.
Yeah. I guess we'll try it. Dylan, can you hear us?
Yeah, Dylan might have to just compute in the comments if you're just. I think it's
Yeah.
just lagging.
All right. But yeah,
But
like you said, it's last episode before Christmas holiday, so got a lot to get into because the way it is, we got football Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And then we got Christmas Day basketball games. We got bowl season. It's jam packed, so we're gonna try to get through as much of it as we can. Like I said, starting a little late, so the show might be a little shorter, but we'll still get through all of our topics.
yeah, I definitely want to
Um,
before we like I said off the camera, like before we should highlight the World Cup. I know it wasn't on the list
mhm.
of the topics. We definitely
Yeah,
should go over
we
that.
can definitely start with that
Yeah,
because
definitely.
yeah, shout out Messi getting his first World Cup. They're
Yeah,
still partying in Argentina. I think when I was at the gym or whatever, they showed like a
I
live
mean that.
feed and like they're still
Yeah,
down there
and
dancing in the street. So
that party will never stop.
I
I
know.
mean, man, think about it. It might be Messi's last World Cup. I mean, or first and only World Cup he's won. So,
Mhm.
depending on if he maybe I don't think he would, but probably 2026 World Cup bid. But I don't think I've seen a report saying this is the final World Cup. I think it's people are speculating this is his last World Cup. I don't think
He's
he has
left
a
it open.
yeah. So
Yeah,
that's
he's
what I'm
left it
saying. So
open.
like he hasn't camera. Oh, I'm not coming back or whatever. This is it.
Nope.
So and I don't think Ronaldo either. But I don't know. I
Nope.
don't see. So they both can
I think
come
the only one's
and
Neymar. Neymar's kind of said
kind
like
of
this
like
one might have been his last one, which
contra-
I'm kind of doubting because he's only, I mean, he's like a 32. So technically, by the next World Cup, he'll be like Messi's age.
right.
So I mean, it's up to him if he wants
Uh,
to kind of bow out internationally and just kind of focus on PSG and whatever. But
right.
I just think, especially after Messi winning it, I feel like Neymar is gonna want to give it one more try.
Yeah, I think Ronaldo wants to too. Just depending on if he can get his team, his club things situated, his life situated. Because I know like he's been through a lot, personal issues and stuff, and dealing with that death of his newborn child and everything, and just the fact that him and Man U split. I think
Which they had to.
yeah, I saw an article saying that he was at Real Madrid's practice facility, like on the pitch practicing by himself. So He's cooling it, taking a chill pill. But yeah, I mean, I want to write him out too. For World Cup bid 2026. I just want to point it out. The World Cup is gonna be in the USA, Canada, and Mexico. I think so. It's gonna be.
Yep.
I think some games are gonna be in Jersey. Some gonna be in Philly. I think all across. I think Atlanta, your state, Canada, Toronto. So,
yeah.
But then
it's basically like all the facilities that the U.S. men's national team will use. So, out in California, there's a couple of stadiums out there that they like to use. Denver,
I think Miami, right?
Yeah, Columbus, I believe, because they use that
Where
one.
Are they gonna go in Atlanta? They're gonna go to the Mercedes Benz.
Yep, because that's where
that looks like a soccer field, like the outside of it, like compared to like what's the stadium in Real Madrid? The Bernabeu.
I can't remember the name of
but like that, but like the design, it looks like a FIFA soccer field, like from the outside, like the design. But yeah, I mean, but they hadn't really listed like what game's gonna be on. Like, is New York gonna be the final 2 teams playing, or they haven't really said anything about that. Like, what's gonna be like the what stage?
If I were to guess,
I'm assuming they would be in LA, the big games, like the finals or whatever.
Yeah, I could see the finals being out.
New York kind of being maybe the knockout stage. They haven't really listed the format yet. But how do you?
It's a larger tournament as well.
Right.
It goes from 32 to 48 in 2026.
Holy crap!
Yeah,
48 teams.
Yep.
So when do teams get to qualify again, or they? Or USA, they already qualified because they're the whole states, right?
Yeah, so USA, Mexico, and Canada will technically already be in.
Right.
And with the expanded field, because right now CONCACAF gets 4 teams in, but now they'll get 6. So it's going to open up a couple spots there. Europe is going to get, I think, like 13 teams, I believe, from Europe. So Italy, who hasn't been in the last few World Cups, there's a couple more spots for them to get in.
All right.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because
it's going to be wild.
Well, they're still trying to figure out how they're going to structure a 48-team tournament because they could do 12 groups of 4. You could do like 16 groups of 3. And then for the math, like if you do 12 groups of 4, you basically have to take the top 2 teams, and then you have to take like the top 8 teams that finished in 3rd place. So they still have to work all that out. But I mean, I'm a fan of the expanded tournament because, like I said, I feel like you'll just get more of like Italy. I feel like China hasn't been in a while. They'll probably get in.
Right.
Even like Jamaica, countries like that. So
like Haiti, maybe.
Yeah, because I mean, once you get past U.S., Mexico, Canada, you're kind of dealing with Costa Rica, Jamaica.
Yeah. Haiti. I mean, they're not good, but they had that one year. I think it was like 2018. Like, it wasn't the World Cup. I think it was like, they're fast. I think they played Mexico. I think, or some team like that.
I mean, it's gonna give them an opportunity to if they have
and like you've seen these teams like Morocco, like I mean, they made history even though they lost. I mean, hey, like that proves that there's other teams out there that haven't really been watched more that can make a big splash, like Jamaica, like Ivory Coast, and they had Didier Drogba, so that was that era.
Yeah.
Dre's here. What's up, Dre?
Yeah, what's up, Dre?
But we're talking about the World Cup and all the teams and stuff right now. So
maybe Mo Salah gets in with Egypt. We'll see.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. But yeah, let me I guess I'll go first with my reaction. I mean, obviously, this is probably one of my all-time best World Cups I've witnessed in like recent years because the fact that there's a lot of storylines. Like one that Messi and Mbappe, they both played for PSG. They're the same teammates in France. That's one storyline, and then the fact that it was potentially, but we don't know, Messi's final World Cup. But we said that he hasn't came out and said that.
Yep.
So leave the door open for that for a 2026 bid. But the fact that I mean, Argentina took a lead 2-0 in the first half. And then Mbappe didn't really have touches in Miami. Or mind you, like France didn't have Benzema, which he retired from France. I think yesterday they didn't have Pogba. The fact that there are some key stars that they were missing. Like I mean, Benzema is a goal scorer. Pogba holds that middle in the middle of the field. That can lead Mbappe to more goals. He's more like that center back, right? Am I correct on that?
Who,
Like,
Pogba? Pogba plays.
He's more like
a center midfielder.
Yeah. But the fact that Argentina took the lead 2-0, and then second half, the penalty happened. Mbappe scored first penalty kick. Back to back, I think it was like 33 seconds after that. Like it was like a minute or under a minute. He scored a second goal, 2-2. It was back and forth on the second half. I mean, it was just like, damn, like what am I watching? Like, am I watching like two heavyweights going at it with Mbappe and Messi? I think Mbappe was the best player that game because the fact that he really took the team on his back in that game, really. Because with him scoring that penalty kick. And during penalty kick period, it was crazy. But I do tip my hat off to Messi. He does deserve it. But yeah, I mean, after Messi and Ronaldo retire, or when they're done, Mbappe is going to take this FIFA by storm if he hasn't already. I think he just turned 24 today, so I think his birthday was today.
I mean, people know about Mbappe. He's been around for a little bit, but there's other guys. Holland with Sweden.
Drake said hat trick in the World Cup. Like that's crazy. That's crazy.
But that's how Mbappe is. I mean, I know you're a Ronaldo fan.
Yeah, of course.
Mbappe kind of plays like a young Ronaldo, where he uses speed and power. Because Mbappe is one of those, you put it at his feet, he can make one move and blow right past your defender. And then once he gets into the box, he's got little tricky moves, and he can get off a quick shot. He can place it wherever he wants. He puts a lot of power behind it. So for him to only be 24,
right.
I mean, you think about it, 2026, he'll be right kind of in his prime almost. 2030, he'll be right there with 32 at that point.
That's crazy.
And he could probably see him 2034.
That's wild, man. Like the fact that, I mean, I don't want to like hog this segment because it was just crazy, like the way I watched it. Like I kind of like stopped watching because it was kind of boring in the first half, but then I turned back. I was like, whoa, this game is getting heated. But Dylan, I want to stop talking and let you have your. I don't know if you watched the show or I mean, watch the game.
Oh, can't hear you, Dylan. Wait, can you hear him, Jordan?
My bad. Forgot to turn the mic on.
Come on, Dylan. Damn.
I know. But I was saying it was a little bit interesting for me. So I had a podcast on Sunday at the Sunday morning drive. So I watched like the first half of the game, and then like I had to go on my podcast. So I ended up watching it, and then at the end, Gene was like, Mbappe just scored 2 goals. Like it's tied. And I was like, what? I was like, what just happened? And he was like, yeah, Mbappe just scored 2 goals. And I was like, I gotta turn it on now. And I turned it on at like the end part of our podcast and then watched the rest of it, like even the PKs. And it was a good game. It was a really good game. Argentina definitely played really well that game. So did France. It just came down to PKs, and they even said it like during the game. They said if it came down to PKs, Argentina was going to win it. They said the France goalkeeper even said himself he's not the greatest at penalty kicks, and then that's what we saw. We saw Argentina take it home. So yeah, it was a good game. Definitely first World Cup I actually like watched start to finish, and I really liked it. So I'm excited for the next one. Sadly, it's in 4 years. It'd be cooler if they had it in like 2-year intervals or something, but I get having it in 4. It makes it feel more grander and more important that way. It's just cool when you see all the countries play like that. I like the big tournament bracket.
Yeah, Kyle, do you know why it's 4 years? Do they have to like just like set up like the locations and everything? 'Cause
I
it's
mean,
like
it's a lot of work to do
right,
World Cup because usually the city makes their bid and they kind of announce it out like years in advance. Only
right.
because the cities then have to get prepared for all of those players to be there. They got to make sure their stadiums are kind of up to date. I mean,
Hotels
they,
are
they
all
got they got
booked
to
for
spend that
players.
money, you know.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, hotels, the little village where all the players kind of hang out in between games.
yeah,
The areas for the like commentators, because there's a lot of them over there. Different countries send people over there to kind of report on everything.
that'd be
So
crazy, man. Oh,
yeah, but I mean, if you need another fix, the Women's World Cup is next year.
okay.
Um, I mean that one.
And
I
where's
mean,
that? Is that in Qatar again, or is
no,
that
that
just
one's in Australia and New Zealand. They're doing a
Ooh.
joint, and I think that's gonna be really good because Australia is like a. Well, I mean, I've never been there, but they've held like Olympics and stuff down there. It's like a really beautiful city,
Yeah, they're
like
getting a
on
lot
TV and
more
all that.
of just events, period. Like the UFC, for example, like they're going there a lot now just because they have great stadiums and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Like just the
right.
atmosphere in those sporting events is like crazy down there.
hmm Yeah. So, like I said, next summer, check out the Women's World Cup. U.S. will be one of the favorites, but there are some other countries that are really on the come up. Like England has a really good women's squad.
Oh yeah.
Um, I think France's women's squad's pretty good too. So the U.S. will
But
definitely
I
have a
mean, I
lot of
think.
competition.
Yeah. I mean, are they coming in as the favorites though? The US, the women's team. I mean, I guess I
They
don't
they
know.
normally are, but this past calendar year, the women's team's kind of gone through a transition where some of the names that a lot of people know, like
Are
Megan
going
Rapinoe and Abby Wambach, those type of players from that generation have gotten kind of older and kind of moved out. So they have like a lot of young women coming up. Actually, I think I mentioned this like a while ago, but like Dennis Rodman's daughter is like the number one soccer player in terms of I think college kids. So she'll be probably on the team next summer. Um, and she's like a major
Crazy.
part of their future. And it's kind of crazy to think Dennis Rodman's kid is playing soccer, but like she's really good. So it'll
Fair
definitely
enough.
be like her first chance to be on a world stage like that.
Right. Yeah. So, like, what were your reaction on the World Cup, Kyle? Like, what was your overall, being a soccer fan and
I thought it was great. There are some people who
Real quick,
yeah
USA is the favorite to win next year. They're at a plus 300 right now, so they're the overall favorite to win the World
okay.
Cup.
I know they slipped up this year, so I wasn't sure if they were going to still be the
Yep,
favorite or not.
it's
But I
it's the
I
top
think they should.
three
Yeah,
is the top three is the USA, England, and Spain.
Spain.
Spain?
Okay, yeah,
I heard about
Spain. Yeah,
Spain
Spain has a
too.
good team. Is France up there? Because I kind of mentioned France.
They're fifth.
Okay, so yeah, France has a good team. I've seen them play a couple
Who's
times.
fourth?
Germany,
Yep,
Yeah, I like soccer.
Germans are
and
always
then
good.
Australia is sixth. Just had to put the host in there.
The New Zealand, right? They're in there too, right?
Now
They're way
Australia's
down.
yeah,
They're
Australia's way
way
better
down.
than
Oh
New
yeah, I
Zealand.
took it because they're the one of the host countries too.
Yeah,
So
New Zealand's a plus 6,000, and Australia's a plus 1,400.
Yeah,
yeah, but
yeah,
yeah, I mean,
Australia, Japan, those teams are kind of in the next wave after
yeah, that
those
World
top
Cup was,
five.
I mean, the one. I mean, I know that there's probably better World Cups because before I was born, but it's the probably one of the best World Cups I've seen in recent. Just because Messi's storyline and Mbappe had the hat trick in the World Cup, but that's kind of hard to. It's easy to say, but hard to do in a World Cup. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the fact the way he did it. I mean, I know there are penalty kicks. He could have missed the penalty kick, but the fact that I think two of them were penalty kicks. The first one and the second one was the actual goal. The second one was a handball off the Argentina, and he got that in there. So, um, yeah, I mean, my hats off to Mbappe for that, but Messi, he deserves that. He deserves that for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean he's
got
had a
all the
lot of pressure
accolades.
on him to do that because with Argentina, a lot of people think about Maradona, and Maradona's like a god in Australia, and Messi was supposed to be the guy to kind of lead them after Maradona's time was up. And the only thing that was really missing from him was that World Cup title. So now that he has it, you know, I think he's going to get a lot of the praise down there that he probably deserves, because winning a World Cup is not easy.
Oh no, it's
I
not.
mean, we saw even in this
Never.
one after the Saudi Arabia game, the first one where they lost, their tournament could have been over with.
That's why I say
But
it's
they
not.
bounced back from that, and they got it done. So you got to give them a lot of credit. And
With that being said, you look
Yeah.
at every major sporting event, you look at like their championships every year, World Cups every 4. So it's not like you have time to prepare every year for the same opponents, because you don't know what the team you're going to be facing, like, oh, the teams you're going to be facing are going to look like in the next
Yeah,
4 years. So much
2026.
can happen.
Yeah, a lot of people like that. That's a good point you bring up, Dylan, because like that. I mean, there's talks that the USA team is going to be it's going to look different. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So, as far as more talent to help them out, I'm not sure who's in like the rankings to like be on the team. I know Paul is still going to be there, McKenzie's going to be there. Like a lot of players are going to be there, but I heard that they're a few players away from like getting there.
because
You know what I'm saying?
with the U.S., there's always the guys who have dual citizenship, and they kind of haven't decided who they'll represent. And I think a few of those guys will most likely choose the U.S. So I think there's always like a U.S. Mexican type of player who's really getting a lot of pressure to join Mexico, but they may join the U.S. I mean, even Gio Reyna, who was kind of a big storyline with this World Cup, he'll definitely be a major part of the plans in 2026. I think maybe a couple of defenders might be coming up, but they're going to have to find a striker, of course, up in the middle. So we'll have to see who emerges from that group to be ready for 2026. But yeah, I think 2026 is going to be very interesting. I think the U.S., if they do everything right, if they find that striker that is like a legitimate threat, they could be a dangerous team. I mean, there are some questions now with Beerhalter as the coach because of kind of the fallout from this past World Cup. So we'll have to see if he gets the opportunity or if he wants to.
I think didn't he sign a new deal? I think the coach of the USA, didn't he sign a new deal? Because I don't think it did nothing. I don't think it did anything wrong in the World Cup as far as obviously they lost, but like
Well, there's a lot of U.S. fans that didn't want him
look that up
at first, and I think a lot of fans have issues with like his substitution pattern. They don't like his starting lineups necessarily. They didn't like the whole Gio Reyna not starting a lot of games or even playing in a few. Then there was like some story after the World Cup about kind of like some in-house things that kind of were made public about Gio Reyna. So to some people, I think that was kind of seen as like the last straw, and Beerhalter will probably be gone. But even on Beerhalter's end, he may not want to go through the 4-year process of coaching the men's national team, because he might want to get like an MLS job or something like that. And normally you can't do the both of them. So if he decides not to pursue it, then there's going to be a whole search, and we'll hear probably some big names tied to the job, only because the U.S. usually likes to throw themselves in the hat of like a Pep Guardiola or something like that. But there's no chance that dude's going to leave Man City to coach the U.S. So, I mean, a name I could probably see might be the guy who coaches Leeds United, because I believe he's American, and I think he's kind of been politicking for the job for a while. I think he wanted it this round, but they gave it to Beerhalter, so he might be a guy to look at. And there's a couple of guys in the MLS who I could see stepping up and taking that job as well.
Right. It's going to be crazy in 2026. It's going to be. I'm trying to go to one of those again. I don't know how money they pay. It's going to be a lot of money.
4 years to save. You got 4 years to save.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I guess before we go hop on to that next topics, how do you get like tickets? I guess you either like FIFA Online or whatever, or FIFA.com or whatever.
They'll probably come out in waves.
Yes, as we get closer,
I imagine the actual FIFA website will have them and be like, "Get your tickets now." We'll find out, since it's in America. It's not like we really have.
They'll advertise
because they're not going to tell us how to get tickets in America for an event in Qatar. They don't really care that much.
Right. It's going to be a lot of money. I'm telling you that. But I do want to try to go. I'm probably going to regret because of the traffic, because around MetLife, New Jersey. Oh man.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough.
yeah, some of these cities. I mean, it's gonna be interesting. You know, your Boston's, L.A., Atlanta, cities that already have kind of bad traffic. It's just gonna be much worse. And we'll have to see kind of how they space out in terms of game times and all that kind of stuff. Uh, but like I said, we got plenty of time until we really get more, I guess, involved with 2026. But I mean, you guys have anything else to say on that, or
No,
you
it's
want
just
to
like
jump to?
a good World Cup, you know what I'm saying? Definitely worth the watch. Like Dylan said, like, you know, it's a game that, you know, you want to watch till finish. So, yeah.
Yeah. I think that final is going to be one that people probably rewatch several
Oh,
times.
oh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, it was great, especially since like it just seemed like it was over and Mbappe was like, "Nah, I'm gonna get two of these things real quick," and then
Yeah.
just ties it up. And then like even when Argentina scored to make it 3-2, you're like, "Man, it's probably it." Like, good job, France. You came back, and they
And
were like,
actually, that
Nah, we're going to penalty kicks now."
Yeah.
But
yeah,
it's still good.
I was gonna
It's
say
still
because
really
like
good.
there was one goal that me and my dad were watching that. I think it was either Mbappe or someone who's Dembele. I think he almost got it into the goal, but that goalie keeper saved it. That was like the save of the game. I don't know which one it was. I think it was towards the end of the game where it's like they were on a fast, I guess I would say a fast break, I guess, down the pitch, and like he almost put it in, but the goalie like probably he dove, and I think he said it was his foot. I think so.
I
They could
think I
have.
remember the play that you're talking about. I can't remember.
That was a save of the game for Argentina
Yeah.
because that's what my dad and me thought. But the fact that, you know, it was close second, it was entertaining. Everyone was on their feet. Everyone I was talking to was watching it and geared into it.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is probably
we-
like one of the most talked about World Cups, at least that I remember. It's probably one of the most watched in a minute too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, I think to a lot of people, the final saved this World Cup because once like Brazil, England, Germany, and a lot of those teams dropped out, I think the fear with a lot of fans is that we weren't going to get. Well, then once Portugal dropped out as well,
Croatia, Morocco.
right? And I think that would have been a lot of people's worst nightmare. Only
Right,
because both teams were good, mind you. It's just that the star
No
power
big
isn't there. I
names.
mean, Croatia, you have Luka Modric, but I don't know if the average fan knows who he is.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
no.
for Morocco, I mean, they were the Cinderella team, so a lot of people
Oh, yeah.
were just learning about that team. But I mean, 2026, Morocco now will be a household name.
Oh,
For
yeah,
sure.
for
Yeah.
sure. And what's the other African team they
Well, what's
Those are
funny is
more-
because on my channel, when I did like my predictions, I kind of said to watch out for like the Northern Africa, Middle Eastern teams because they all pretty much play the same way, and they like to press, they like to get in a
fast-paced.
counter.
Yep.
They're really technical, so that's even with the expanded field. Now we might see Ghana. We might see.
Ghana, I forgot about Ghana.
I can't remember how old Mane is because he missed this tournament for Senegal, but he could be back.
Senegal. That was the other team.
2026.
Senegal. Yep.
Yeah, and there's a couple of other Northern African teams that now
Yeah,
with the expanded field they might get in and
World
they
Cup
could
could have been a
cause
lot.
some trouble.
Yeah, this World Cup could have been a lot. Like Egypt was playing, like Mohamed Salah was playing. Like there would have been a lot.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, it was entertaining this World Cup, but it would have been a lot more interesting to see like Mohamed Salah like in there because, you know, obviously he does good for Liverpool and stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, we can have a whole episode of FIFA and like separately, but
Yeah.
I know we have a lot to talk about, so we gotta. But I didn't want to. I didn't want to like fit that in there because it's
Yeah.
over.
That's a big event. I mean, happens every 4 years.
Right.
So talk about it
Yeah.
while we can.
it was necessary. Okay, so go to MLB real quick. Not a lot has happened, but there has been some movement in terms
Yeah.
of free agency.
Yeah.
I'll just run down some of the names that signed, and then we'll talk about it real
Mhm.
quick.
I know the Yankees just made it official today that they're signing Judge to a 9-year deal
Hmm.
to like 2031. So it's official, like from the Yankee side. Like I guess they
mean,
officially.
They
I
announced
guess
it. Nothing was going to happen unless you're
No. I'm
Carlos
saying that they,
Correa.
like, and I think they're gonna have like a press conference. I think tomorrow. I think to like
Mhm. Yeah,
like
Yeah,
on their
they-
Instagram page, they kind of like made it like we signed Aaron Judge or whatever, do 2031 or whatever.
Mhm. Yeah, a lot of the press conferences will start happening now. Because like I said, the first I was going to start with Carlos Correa, 13-year deal in San Francisco. Although his press conference has been postponed
Delayed because of
because
Yeah.
the
something
health,
on his
right?
medical, not exactly vibing with San Francisco, which I think is interesting.
Is he hurt or like?
It could be that maybe there's some concerns about a knee or something, whether they think he might hold up, and then they might be thinking about, we have you for 13 years. What kind of will that look like 13 years from now, or even 6 years from now? They signed him to be a shortstop. They're probably going to have to think. So if he can't play shortstop the whole time, where do we have an opening for him? I mean, will he become a DH? Do we switch him to third base? Maybe try to make him a first baseman? Are they going to try to work in some language into the contract where whatever they saw, if it becomes even more serious, that they can maybe opt out? That's probably what the holdup is. I'm sure he'll get introduced at some point, but for right now, it's just a holdup.
Right.
Syndergaard signed with the Dodgers.
Hmm.
Dodgers keep signing big names. That's kind of the norm. Let me see. Like you said, Yankees got Rodon. Joey Gallo going to the Twins. Benintendi got a 5-year deal with the White Sox. Dansby Swanson, 7-year deal with the Cubs. JD Martinez, 1-year deal with the Dodgers.
Basically, yeah, Justin Turner and JD
Yeah,
Martinez
basically
teams.
just swap teams without it actually being a trade.
Yeah.
Michael Brantley's going back to the Astros. Matt Carpenter signed with the Padres. And I
Dansby
believe
Swanson to the Cubs.
Yeah. And then today, Ottavino signed with the Mets. That pretty much catches everybody up. So
I think Rodon
initial thoughts from those signings.
I think Rodon's the Yankees too. Rodon.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The Giants. Yeah. I mean,
yeah, that's a lot of the bigger names. Slowly going off. A lot of those shortstops leaving. After we saw Judge go and Trey Turner sign, it was a matter of time. A bunch of those other players sign them. Dansby Swanson going to the Cubs was pretty interesting. Gave him 7 years, 177 with a full no trade clause.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little crazy.
Braves fans were not happy about that one at all.
Yeah,
Because I think Braves fans are kind of assuming that with all this settling, that he was just going to go back to Atlanta, because a lot of the contenders, you would say, don't have a spot for him at this point. And the fact that he chose the Cubs, a lot of people are just like, oh, have fun 7 years of playing meaningless baseball in Chicago.
I don't know. They're kind of building there. They got Bellinger now, Jameson Taillon,
But I'm just saying, for a Braves fan, they don't think of the Cubs as, being relevant right now. And of course, they got to try to take a jab at him as he's leaving town. So, I mean, I'm not mad at him for going there.
Thing.
Yeah.
They should worry about their own thing. They lost to a 6 seed. That's not a shot against the Phillies. The Phillies were good, but again, you're the second overall seed and you lost to the 6 seed.
Yeah.
So,
I'm he's going to another hitter-friendly ballpark. So he'll probably boost.
What do they need? They still need like a catcher. The Cubs, they still need like a good catcher. Probably, I would say.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I think like most teams probably could use some pitching. I mean, that's everybody though.
Right.
And there's still some names out there. Waka, Evaldi. Those first two I remember from the Red Sox. But
how you like that Justin Turner to the Red Sox? You like that?
I have no problem with it, because I kind of understand what they're doing. So JD Martinez at this point is strictly a DH. So Turner can play.
Isn't he third base? But isn't Devers a third base?
Well, that's the point. So if Devers needs a day off, you would just make Devers the DH, let Turner play a day at third. Or if Casas needs a day off because he's young and still coming up, if he needs a day off, Turner will play first. And then, so St. Louis Cardinals winning the division. Contreras, Arenado, Goldman. The team is stacked. I think the Brewers are going to come in second in that division. I mean, I pretty much expect the Cardinals to win the Central mostly every year. they seem to find ways to win that division, even if they only have to win like 88, 89, 90 games. But Cardinals are a respectable organization. They kind of know where to find good young talent. They kind of make sneaky under the radar free agency signings. I mean, the Contreras move for them is really good. Contreras is a really good catcher with some pop. So, I agree with you, Dante. I think the Cardinals will end up winning that division.
Yeah, I'm looking at last year's standings and like, did the Brewers really do that much
Just
outside
on the
of
Brewers roster, I don't know Christian Yelich. That's
the
all I
Sean
know.
Yeah, that was outside like the Sean Murphy trade. Did they really do anything important?
I feel like I
think so.
haven't heard a lot from the Brewers. Let me see. Well, I think the Brewers had a decent year last year as well.
Yeah, they got 86 wins, so they were close. But I'm saying if you look at it from the Cardinals' perspective, they added more. The Brewers have signed nobody this free agency, so they've done nothing.
Yeah.
So it's like I look at it as like from the Cardinals' perspective, what have they done? They've gotten better. They got a pretty good catcher. What have the Brewers done? Nothing. Oh yeah, the Brewers finished second last year, and the Cardinals were first. So you're telling me the first place team got better? Okay. I mean, the Brewers still might make moves. There's a lot of time. Yeah, they fell apart last year, and they're not doing anything to fix anything yet. So I mean, when you look at it that way, it's like, why would I want to think the Brewers are going to do at least good enough to win first? I mean, the Cardinals should be a favorite to win, no problem.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, normally with that division, it usually comes down Cardinals, Brewers. Every once in a while, the Cubs are up there. I mean, the Pirates and the Reds haven't really been, contenders for a while. So it's always an interesting division. It's kind of like maybe like the NFC East, where usually like the top two or three are really jumbled together. Yeah.
Like one year they're all just like really good, and then like the rest of the time they're all just like,
Yeah. Yeah, because like I said, they usually win that division like 88, 89 wins, where if you look at the AL East, you got to get to
I'm
like
looking
90.
at the standings they're the only team without a team with 100 wins in their division. Oh, outside of the American League East, because the Yankees were one win off of 100.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah,
I guess any other moves that kind of caught your eye?
Not really. I mean, I'm trying to just think. Yeah, my Blue Jays really haven't done anything. We've kind of kept quiet outside of signing Bassett, but again, we haven't really done anything. We've already talked about that last podcast, so yeah, we're just kind of just keeping quiet. We'll see. There's still a lot of big names out there left. Some pitchers. Right. Drury. Oh, a good third baseman still out there. So yeah, we still got some good signings left to go. I imagine the Blue Jays will probably get a couple more moves in.
Right. That's probably what they've probably been waiting for a lot of this to settle, and now they can kind of have their pick from kind of what's left. Because
I high payroll already, so I understand.
Right. And I understand it with them because they have their money tied into like a lot of young, like their offense is like all tied up Guerrero and all those guys. So I think they're going about it the right way. It's just, those young guys having to learn how to win late in October. And then once you get to the playoffs, learning how to work yourself out of a slump where you don't necessarily have like 100 or so games to go. You get to make those adjustments like right on the fly to, really turn the series around. That's something that they'll learn with time. Yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's any other moves. Yeah, that was pretty much it for baseball. I mean, maybe we'll start getting some more. I mean, Christmas week might not get much. Next week, maybe in the new year we might start.
There's a big name. Like, it's always boring. Like it's the low. Like when once the big names are off the board, it's like
it's just kind of like when those players sign. It's like, oh, that's nice, but like not really anything big happening.
Yeah. All right. let's go. Let's go NBA.
Basketball.
Yes. A lot
NBA.
of interesting things in the NBA. The Suns are being sold, so we can finally close the
Oh,
chapter on Sarver.
just one quick thing. It looks like the YouTube is buying NFL Sunday Ticket. Looks like they're acquiring the rights.
Love it.
I have YouTube TV, so that's nice.
That's kind of well because we knew that Apple was after it, Amazon wanted it, YouTube
Yeah,
wanted it.
I knew like once streaming services got big, DirecTV was gonna lose it. Once those
Mhm.
rights came up for it, it was gone.
Yeah.
It was gonna go to the highest bidder. I'm glad it's going to like someone like YouTube and not like Amazon.
Yeah.
Or Apple, really, to be fair. Like I like Apple and like I have an iPhone or anything like that, but like I'd rather it be on like a universal streaming platform. And YouTube's just perfect for it.
hmm Well, I just knew Apple was going to be major players because they have the
Oh,
deal
yeah.
with Major League Baseball.
I
They have-
love that. To be fair, if it went to Apple, like that would have been nice because I've watched a couple of the baseball games on Apple and it looks nice. I like
Yeah,
how
it's
they have
it's
the
a
live
really good
betting odds in the
presentation, yeah.
corners. Live betting odds in the corners. They'll tell you
Mhm.
like strikeouts, different things. Like it's nice. It's nice looking. And if they got it, I imagine they would do a really good job with it. But again, like, yeah, I'd just rather it be universal already. Because I like what YouTube does with the NFL stuff they have now. Like my fantasy account's linked to it. So like can read up my fantasy scores while I'm watching the game.
Yeah. I do want to see, I think it's next season, the MLS package goes to Apple
Mhm.
TV. I want to see what their presentation looks like for that because I think that could be a really big move for MLS in terms of continue to grow the sport because they're slowly becoming very, very popular. And I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
I
sure
think
you still have the big
definitely
four.
emergence
But
of the World Cup definitely helped too.
yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
that'd be cool because Apple TV, their videos are like movies are more like, clear. Obviously, the Apples are gonna get that clear quality like video. But yeah, with that YouTube, like when's that gonna happen? Is that like next year, a couple years from now, or
It doesn't say right now. It just says they're in advanced talks to
because that
acquiring
would
it
be
over
awesome.
Amazon.
So that means like we'll have access to like out of market games, or
No, I imagine how it's going to be is they're probably going to have it on like their YouTube TV or like a separate package that you'll have to pay for it. But yeah, in a sense.
I wouldn't mind to watch my Ravens. Because that means to streaming on like crack streams or something like that. It's just like,
Yeah.
It beats DirecTV for sure.
oh yeah, yeah. I don't know why. See, I don't know why like the TV networks are so stingy about like because like
Well, they had a contract. When you
I
have a
got
contract for
Xfinity.
something that big, you're going to milk out as much time as you can because that's going to be your biggest money until
Yeah.
it leaves. So once they leave, that's a lot of their revenue just going away.
Yeah, I mean, when they signed that, DirecTV was at its height. So
Yeah.
bringing the Sunday
They were
ticket
like
on was
TV
like,
deals. Boom. They probably signed something like a 10, 15-year deal for it. So it's not
Mhm.
like streaming services were that big yet. It's like you had
Yeah.
YouTube, but it's like no one expected YouTube to be like what it is now. So
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
I mean, as we've seen past couple of years with streaming services become bigger and bigger, like DirecTV numbers have seriously dipped. And now losing Sunday ticket, they'll probably just dip even more. I would be surprised if DirecTV is still a thing. Like, as it's currently constituted, it'll probably switch to like a DirecTV stream to kind of
yeah, they already
keep
have
up.
their own streaming type thing. Like my
Yeah.
parents had DirecTV, and then like they just moved away for it just to have Hulu live because they're like, we can get the same stuff for cheaper. Okay. It's like
Yeah.
the cool thing with cable is because like you had all these channels you could watch now, and now everyone's like, I really don't need all these channels. Like, give me the stuff I want to watch, and
Mhm.
I'll go watch whatever's on Netflix because that's more interesting than what's on TV, anyways.
Right.
Right.
And next step might be just legitimately picking which channels you want, paying a price like that
Yeah.
instead of a necessary
Yeah,
package that
I
they
imagine
do
we'll
now.
get there soon. A lot of places, like there's still a lot of places. Internet's not like universal everywhere. If we get to a
Right.
point where
That's
everyone
that's
can
the
get
big issue. Yeah.
internet, then yeah, if we can get to a point where everyone can have good, steady, consistent internet, then yeah, that will be gone. But until then, they're gonna have something. They're gonna have satellite. They're gonna have cable. Someone's gonna have to have it.
Right.
All right. Yeah. So NBA. Sarver, his book's closed with the Suns and Mercury. Looks like I'm attempt this dude's last name. Ishbia.
Yeah, so he was a billionaire. You never know, dude. I don't know. I've never heard of that dude in my life, but I guess he's a billionaire.
Had
So
no
cool.
idea who that guy was.
Do you know what he does now? Like, is he like a specific type of guy?
Left cable went stream.
Yeah, exactly.
Stream. Yep.
I mean,
let's
that's what
see.
I
Yeah,
have. Like, I considered getting like DirecTV just to get Sunday Ticket, but at that point, I was kind of like, man,
It
like
wouldn't-
it's not
it
even
wouldn't be
worth it.
worth
Like,
it.
it's
I
so
can't even get DirecTV 'cause
expensive.
in my area, like
Exactly.
Yeah, that
Xfinity
was
around.
that was an issue that they had. It's not available everywhere.
like bullcrap, like FiOS and. So
Yeah.
I mean, I have Xfinity, so it's like it's like so in my area, like just don't provide it, so I can't even get DirecTV. But
Exactly.
like
So-
when I go to Costco or like BJ, they have the DirecTV guys trying to scam me, trying to get you to buy their service when I can't even get the access to it. So.
He's like, oh yeah,
Uh,
we're about to come out to your area.
Yeah,
We're getting there. We're getting
Yeah, they always say that.
I try
In
to
the next
put my
month.
hood- I try to put my hood up and try to be like kind of like avoid them because like they're like, yo, excuse me, sir, can I buy you for a minute? Like, shit.
Yeah.
And my gullible ass will probably believe them, like, oh yeah, I'll buy into it. But yeah,
I mean, they do that with like
Phones.
fiber internet now too. A lot of people are trying to, sell them on fiber internet, but it's not available everywhere yet.
right.
But of course, they're looking to expand it to most places because that's kind of where, with government and all that kind of stuff, they kind of want to push high-speed internet being available everywhere. But we'll see how long that takes. But Dylan, to answer your question, the Ishbia dude is a mortgage lender. And we know that there's big money in that, so it makes
Fair
perfect
enough,
sense.
I guess. Fair enough. I mean,
It's a good
I imagine
move.
he's probably not. I imagine he's probably not worse than Starverse. So.
Right. Anything's better than Sarver. So as long as that book is closed, we don't have to talk about that dude anymore. He's buying the Sun and Mercury, so complete clean house, which is obviously great for both leagues.
You think he'll do
I
anything
got
with the
fiber.
team?
Then after
Like,
hooked up, was told her it was not fiber yet. Well, see, Evan's feeling that heat right now. Not even ready yet.
you think he'll do anything with the team? Like, not saying like he won't move it, of course. Like, it will stay where it's at. But like,
Mm-hmm.
and you think any changes will come to the team, like a redesign? Not a redesign. They'll stay the Suns. Like logo changes, anything like that. You think he might have any different ideas for the team,
That's a
or
good
do you think he's
question.
probably just going to keep it classic? Just take over as just owner.
I
and that's
could-
about it.
I could see a logo change just to kind of
New start.
usher in a fresh start. If he might maybe want to look at the old logo being tied to the old regime, but he's like, no, it's something new now. I could see something like that. Maybe like a slightly different color scheme type of thing. Yeah, I could see that. New court, maybe.
I wouldn't
Who
mind it.
knows?
I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that. The Suns are a pretty dominant team, so a change
he's
like
gonna
that would be
get-
pretty big in the NBA right now.
He's,
Well, at least,
he's gonna get rid of Chris Paul and Devin Booker and everyone. No, it's fine. I'm playing.
yeah, he's cleaning house. He's saying
Father
I'm
Father
tanking
Time
for
might get
Wembanyama.
rid of Chris Paul for them. So
He said he said we're taking for Wembanyama.
Get rid of Aiden, soft ass.
Like,
I
the only
can't
person we're
blame
keeping
it.
is Mikal Bridges.
Aiden wanted to go, was basically gone, and then Phoenix in like the 11th hour was like, oh wait, we'll re-sign you after Phoenix kind
Yeah,
of
they
made it
should've
known
let
they were
him-
gonna let him go.
They
I
honestly,
see
what
them
they should have done is they should have done a sign and trade with the Pacers. They should have been like, okay, yeah, we'll let you go there, but we need stuff in return.
right.
Yeah,
They could have literally gotten stuff out of the Pacers if it came down to it to do a sign and trade there. Even if
They
it was like a
literally could have
couple of
swapped
picks.
them
Even
for
if it's like
Miles
a couple
Turner.
of picks. Yeah. Even if it's like Miles Turner and like you get like a late first or a couple of seconds.
Yeah.
I would look at that and be like,
Simple.
he doesn't want to be here. Turner doesn't want to be in Indiana,
Very
I think
simple.
Turner kind of fits a good mold. He can spread the floor out. He's a good defensive player. He's really good when it comes to blocking the basketball. So
Yeah.
I don't get
Wouldn't be
why.
surprised if that becomes a trade deadline rumor. Aiden for Turner. Which
I wouldn't mind that trade at all. I like Miles Turner. I've always been a
Jordan's
big Miles
Lakers
Turner
probably
fan.
wouldn't like that because
Yeah, I thought he was. Is there any person saying he's in the Suns market? I thought he was
Well-
more in the Lakers market. Or
I think the Lakers.
he's gonna be
the Lakers
around,
have
'cause-
attached their name to everybody.
Turner's,
If you
Turner's
ask
gonna
the
be a
Lakers,
hot,
the Lakers,
like market player, just period.
if you ask the Lakers, they're about to trade for Kyrie, they're going to trade for Booker, they're going to trade for everybody and their mama, and it's like,
They're gonna
do
trade
not.
for DeRozan and Vucevic.
yeah, it's like what?
I mean, I don't see Chicago winning any more games. I mean, I see LA winning more games than Chicago right now. So I mean,
Yeah,
DeMar
I
DeRozan.
heard some news that Zach LaVine and the Bulls aren't seeing eye to eye.
I've said for years, the Bulls blow it up. I mean,
they-
I know
they
some
should
Bulls
blow it
fans
up.
are like, we have talent. It's like it's not working. DeRozan is
What's
DeRozan's
Zach
like
LaVine's
37.
trade
When I looked
value?
that up the other day, I was shocked he was that old.
Like if they say let's blow it up and like Levine wants out, like what's his
Yeah,
trade
you're
value?
hilarious.
Evan is bringing the heat in the chat so far. Wait, Evan, they do the two hockey. What hockey? Oh, I'll mess up the name of the show. Like two hockey guys in talk show. That comes on, I think, later today.
Oh,
Actually, a pretty good show.
Like if you look at the Bulls, like I like they have an interesting roster like set up, but like if they do blow it up and they like say let's move Zach LaVine, what's his trade value? I'm like, well, what's a realistic team that could trade for him? Like you look at maybe the Suns. I think the Suns could, have an interesting offer. They're always going to be in that market. The
LaVine
Timberwolves.
He would be an interesting piece in Dallas. I don't know what Dallas would give up for him.
I'm not sure
but-
he'd want to play in Dallas either. I don't think he'd want to play anywhere that he can't be kind of looked at as like, I don't think he would mind being a 2, but if he was getting like 45% of the ball snap, like the ball, but like, I don't think he'd get that in Dallas. That's Luka's show. Luka's not
Yeah,
taking
but-
a backseat for anybody there.
But Luka, a lot of his frustration at times where we see it is that he's trying to find a running mate down there. And between Hardaway Jr., Dinwiddie, Wood, he kind of just needs like two of them going at the same time. So I had the name. Okay. Yep, two guys in hockey talk. All right, I had the name right. Yeah, because I usually drop in on that show and do my Go Bruins comment, so they probably remember me.
Go Krakens. Go Krakens.
go
It's a
Cavs.
good show. Yeah.
Go Capitals.
I
Oh, that's been good.
no, I like Ovechkin. Ovechkin seems like a guy who, like, you met him on the street, he'd probably be hilarious to hang out with.
I think he scored his 800th goal, I believe, of the other day.
Mhm.
So I mean, that's, people kind of have forgot about that. Like, because I mean, it's hockey. People don't. I mean, but and that's big for best. He's up there with Gretzky. Like, I think it's like third. I think all time goals. I think.
Well, hockey's like really territorial because of the way the U.S. is set up. And
Well, he's a
Go
Celtics
Celtics.
fan, so
Evan, you're my guy now.
y'all best buds now.
Hey, that's my guy. Like I said, I support their show. I didn't know he was a Celtics fan, but okay now. But yeah, hockey's like territorial because in the South, it's like like in Atlanta. Atlanta had a hockey team. People in Atlanta did not care for that hockey team. Then they left and it was like, oh wait, we lost the hockey team. So what? But you go to like Boston, Washington, the DC area, Pittsburgh.
L.A., Miami. Does Miami have one? Miami or they have the Panthers?
Yeah. They play. Where do the Florida Panthers play? They don't play in Miami, but yeah, I mean they have the Tampa Bay Lightning. Fortunately, hockey takes so much money. Yeah, yes, that is also a thing.
I actually got to for one of my assignments. I got to go to the Jersey. Well, we got to pick a game between like the November, like the December 1st, I think, and like I chose a game to be like a part of the media press for the Jersey Devils versus the Capitals. So that game where I'm not sure if Aaron Roberts is familiar with the Devils. I think it was Jack Hughes scored his first hat trick. So we were there and we were in the locker room and stuff. And the Devils are like 17 and 17. And
They're having a really good
they're
season.
like 25 and like 10, I think. So like, or something like that. So I mean,
Yeah, they've been just as good as the Bruins have been.
like yeah, like I wanted to go to the because we could either go to the away locker room or the home locker room. I I wanted to interview Ovechkin, but the guy said that they're hop on a plane to Toronto for the next game, so they don't want to. And plus, they lost too, so I wouldn't want to be in that locker room. But they had to get on a plane and head out. So, but we got the interview, being in scrum for like the Jack Hughes interview. It was pretty cool. But hockey, I mean, that's my first hockey game ever going to hockey games, and like it was cool. Like see Ovechkin. I mean, we were up in the high rise, like doing like the. In the press box, whatever they call it. So it was cold though. I mean, even though we were high up though.
Yeah.
But I think Jones froze again.
No, he's good. Well, do you watch the Kraken a lot?
Oh, Dylan, you're playing with me, bro. No, okay.
No, I was just listening. I was just listening to you guys. I got the live scores of some of the games going on, so I was just kind of like reading some of the last plays of what was happening in some of them, and I was just listening. But I try. Hockey's one of those things that like I'll watch if it's on. It's not something I'll go out of my way to watch. It's not like I'm dying and looking up to watch the Krakens. But if they're on and there's nothing, like I'm not watching anything else, like I'll definitely tune it on and watch it. I like watching hockey. It's just one of those things that like there's a lot of other sports going on around the same time. Like I watch a lot of college basketball, I watch a lot of NBA, I watch a lot of NFL, I watch a lot of UFC. So it's like there's other sports and other things I like watching a little bit more that takes precedence than hockey. So if it's on, I'll watch it, and if there's nothing else on.
Appreciate the comment, Evan. I mean, we try. And look, we even worked in hockey because you were in the chat. So, but even with the Kraken, I think what's cool about them is the arena that they have. It's like carbon neutral or something like that, which I think is really cool. Real progressive thinking.
Hilarious. Yeah, we have to get everyone on the show, man. This is hilarious, man.
As I said, I think I think they start their show at like 9:30 or something like that. They're on tonight as well. Climate Pledge Arena, yeah. But I've seen like some of their games on TV, and they have like a nice little atmosphere there. I mean, if I was ever in that area, I'd probably go to a game.
I want to. I just want to go to.
Oh, they're on Wednesday.
I just want to go both to Seattle and. I want to see a Seahawks game and that. And if Seattle gets a basketball team again, NBA.
That's gonna happen. That will definitely happen. I see the NBA expanding, which I mean Silver's talked about it, and I think they go Vegas and Seattle. I think it's a done deal. Because they never should have left Seattle, to be honest with you. The Supersonic franchise was legendary.
To be completely honest with you, I live in Oklahoma, and like I don't even really live too far away from Oklahoma City, and like there's fans here, but to be honest with you, I see more just overall NBA fans who are just fans of other teams rather than I see people wearing like Thunder gear around. I think the people who wear Thunder gear are people who just live in Oklahoma, who are just like, go team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with Evan here that the NHL was first there, and then the Raiders went there. Major League Baseball will probably try to get there somehow, and then because Vegas is a market that they kind of thought was like taboo before, because like the gambling and all that kind of stuff. But then, as I guess Vegas became more family friendly, then they realized it was a market that they had to tap into with all the tourism and all that goes there. That's just money you're clearly missing out on. Right. And now, like Evan said, they're going to go full force there once the NHL went there and succeeded. And I mean, basketball would go there for like USA basketball. They play in Vegas all the time. Always a big deal, so it only makes sense to put a team over there.
I mean, LeBron was thinking about after he's done putting a team in Vegas. I agree. They do deserve a team. Like, obviously, it's hot in Vegas, but I mean, they had that
stadium.
Yeah, they can play but I'm not sure where they will play it. Maybe UNLV. No, they can't because they can't play UNLV.
They'll build a stadium.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm definitely on board with that with LeBron. Like creating a team there because like obviously they hold the summer league there in Vegas and everything, and like they're getting exposure from there. So that's a good idea. Especially I mean, why not? They have. I mean, why not build like a Philadelphia kind of thing? Have like have the Raiders here, then maybe a basketball team here, and then maybe down the road a well, it has. Well, I'm gonna say a football stadium, but that was the Raiders. What else? Maybe well, never mind. They have a hockey team down there. Never mind. So
Yep.
I'm like,
They have plenty of room
oh yeah,
to put whatever they need, and whatever sport you put there, it'll be great. LeBron to Vegas for NBA relocation, never rule
yeah,
out.
man. I'm definitely on board with that a Vegas team, especially Seattle team.
Laker
for
fans
sure.
would cry if that happened.
All right, next topic, man.
Hey, if he wants to throw out there, or Pat Beverly, whatever wants to throw out there, he's gonna play to 45. I would be shocked if they waited that long to have a team in Vegas.
Bro,
So
LeBron's
gonna be some
kid's
overlap.
gonna get drafted to
Oh,
like
yeah.
the Vegas team, and then LeBron's gonna be like, "This was my plan all along," and then just dip out. You know, he's already got a house in Vegas. You know, secretly being built.
Who knows, man? But
Here's
I know
a question for you guys. So if you're
Okay.
Bronny, do you want to play with LeBron? I'm kind of
Like an all-star game, yeah, like an all-star
fine,
game,
yeah.
that'd be dope. But like, to be honest, no, because like,
Ooh,
well, Drury just signed with the Angels, but
Oh, okay.
like, no, I wouldn't necessarily want to, because it's like I'm already named after my dad, who's this big NBA player, and two, it's like I'm already gonna have to live in his shadow, kinda, and it's like, cool, we're on the same team, so I'm living more in his shadow. When like I have a bad game, people are gonna be like, "Bron, get your kid, tell him to get better." It's gonna be like,
I mean, I get
the
what
hell?
Dylan's saying. I get what he's saying, but I mean, it'll definitely be a cool experience. Like, when's the last time that father-son duo played in the NBA? Like, on the
fair.
same team?
I think in a sense it'd be cool if it was like a 1 year thing, like a LeBron.
Yeah, like a 1 year
retirement season.
bid. Yeah.
Like
Okay.
let Bronny play in the league for like 1, 2, 3 years, and then like if Bron's like, okay, I'm ready to hang it up, you know, my contract's ending, I want to play one more season with my son before I leave,
in
then
Canada,
that's
wow.
cool. I get that. I'm fine with that,
Thanks for
really.
tuning in, Evan.
But really let Bronny play let him play a couple seasons in the NBA on his own. You know, it's already going to be a lot for him. Living in his dad's shadow, don't put him on the roster, you know, because, you know, that could not make family relationships good if he's not playing well, and media tries to get in the middle of those things, everything like that. And I think like if it was a LeBron retirement season, it'd have a lot better narrative and a lot better story than like LeBron signed a 4-year deal as the same
No.
year they drafted LeBron's kid.
I think it might be
That'd
just a
little
retirement thing. I don't think it's gonna be a 4-year
Yeah.
bid. I mean, I think it might be 1 year,
Yeah.
you know, retirement. Like, what do they call it? Like
Farewell
victory
season.
tour or retirement
That
tour,
was,
or whatever.
yeah,
Mhm.
victory tour, yeah, farewell season.
So I
farewell
don't
tour.
think it's gonna be a 4-year bid. I mean, I'm assuming, and if LeBron can stay, you know, healthy, I mean, he does take care of his body. So who knows? Who knows? I mean, but I get what you're saying, Dylan, about how like, oh yeah, I'm already living with my father at home. I'm gonna be living with him in and out training camp and practices and
Yeah, exactly.
you know, on
It's
the
like
team. But
I'm
then
an
again,
adult
it's like,
now.
damn,
It's
I want to
like-
see that, you know, Bronny and LeBron.
Yeah,
team.
depending what route he goes, it's looking like he probably will go the college route. It's looking like, you know, I don't hear a lot of rumblings on him going like G League or overseas. It's looking like college is probably going to be his route, which is good, you know. Definitely puts him in a different narrative than LeBron, depending wherever he goes, you know. He's not going to get drafted right out of high school, so Bronny's definitely going to have a different path, which is a lot nicer because, you know, it's going to give him probably a lot better standing than what LeBron did, so it gives him time to get better, work on his craft, because it's not even like Bronny is like the #1 recruit in the nation in this high school, like all-star like LeBron was. You know, it's like Bronny's a really good player and he's a top recruit, but it's not like he's the best recruit in that class, or at least people don't go around saying he's the best recruit in that class. So it's going to definitely be interesting. I hope he goes to college because that'd be cool, you know, seeing him playing in an NCAA tournament, you know, create a LeBron name legacy in like college. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. Because, you know, publicly he would never say like, oh, I want to do my own thing. But if it were to happen, I feel like behind closed doors he might be like, Dad, just
You'd probably be like, hey, Dad,
stay in LA, Dad. We'll see each other a couple
or
times.
go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Go somewhere else. Like I
Go back to
understand.
Cleveland for a third time. Break their hearts
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, exactly. Win a chip and leave again. Go beat the Warriors in 7.
But I mean, it's gonna be interesting. It's kind of crazy, like how many former players' kids are coming through the system now.
Yeah.
Because even Carmelo's kid played that game against Bronny the other day. So like that's another one. You already have like Scottie
Didn't D
Pippen
Wade
Jr. and all.
son?
Hmm?
What's his D Wade's son?
Yeah, D Wade's son's in like the G League, isn't he?
Is that? I don't
Oh,
know.
I can't remember. He might
He's
be.
not in college. I'm pretty sure he's in the G League.
I mean, that's gonna be crazy. A couple of years seeing little Wade in the NBA, little LeBron.
And
Make
his
you-
other
make you start
son
feeling
too,
old.
Bryce. When he gets to that age, it's gonna
Yeah.
be something. It's gonna be something else. Man.
He said he
Well, I
wanted
think,
to try to play
I
with
think
both
Bryce
of
is
his
supposed to be
kids.
what, like a bigger kid. Bigger
Yeah, I
than
think
Bronny, too.
he's gonna be like. I feel like Bronny's gonna be the skinny version of LeBron, but Bryce gonna be
I feel
the
like
thick,
Bronny's gonna
heavy.
be like probably like 6'4", 6'5", like a decent sized point guard, and I feel like Bryce
Bryce
is
gonna be
like,
the thicker one, man.
like
Like
6'6",
LeBron, like
6'7", like LeBron size.
250.
Yeah, he's gonna be bigger.
Yeah.
He looks like his framer looks like. I mean,
LeBron's
obviously
gonna be
not-
probably like a little quicker and probably a little more like athletic, like jump wise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be a little more shiftier.
So we will see. I mean, I think because of the NBA talk, we don't really have to do "Am I Tripping?" I feel like we've covered enough.
mean,
unless you want to talk about something.
What did you
else.
have? What did you have on your topics for would you or
I mean, we haven't had
What did
really
you have?
anything wild happen. I mean, we should to let Ty Happy mention the Knicks. The Knicks are on like a pretty decent run as of
Yeah,
late.
I was about
you
to
know.
say, if there's a team you want to talk about, let's go ahead.
I'm not a Knicks guy myself, but you know they have been playing well. I'm not sure how big the streak they're on is. I know he mentioned it yesterday, so I apologize for forgetting. But
They won 7 in a row.
7 in a
8
row,
of their
and they're
last 10.
currently winning. And they're currently winning. Last time I checked, but yeah, it's definitely
Only
pretty
a half
impressive.
game behind the Sixers for 5th in the East.
So yeah, definitely give the Knicks a shout out. They've been
Yeah,
playing really
that's
well.
17?
They're on the longest winning streak in the NBA currently. Actually, I think the closest team is like the 76. Oh no, the
Brooklyn.
Nets. Yeah,
Yeah,
Brooklyn
Brooklyn's
has
at
6.
And they're beating the Warriors. God damn, that's embarrassing.
So I
It's like-
mean, you know, that roster definitely had a lot of question marks with Jalen
Mhm.
Brunson
Me
being
too.
the head guy, but obviously he's been playing well.
Yeah,
RJ
that's
Barrett's
what
been playing well. The roster's been definitely doing their thing. So yeah, good to see. Definitely they weren't looked at as a team to be like a dominant threat or any sort of threat, so that they're playing good as well. And then I guess talk about the West standings. If we've gotten a little bit of a shift up. Last time we spoke, the Pelicans were first. They're now 4th. The
Now the
Grizzlies
Grizzlies
now
are
took the
first.
first spot.
Mhm.
And then the Suns dropped to the what? The Suns stayed
Third.
at 3rd, and then the Nuggets moved up to 2nd. So a little bit of shift there, but all those guys are 1 to 1.5 games separated from
Yeah,
each
so
other.
it's
So there's
still
going to just
pretty
be
close in the
tons of
West.
fluctuation. And then other than that,
Sacramento holding strong in the top 6.
good for them. Good for
Yeah,
them.
yeah,
Sabonis has been playing good. He had what 20 and 20 the other day.
Yeah.
I mean,
It-
Jokic was like, I'm gonna do 40 and 20, but you know,
Sabonis is one of those guys who
I like Sabonis a lot. I liked him when he was. I
yeah,
like
because
him with
he's
Pacers.
wildly underrated only because when he was in Indiana, not a lot of people paid attention. Even in Sacramento, not a lot of people watch Sacramento. But now with Sacramento being competitive, I think you're seeing like his 2015 kind of capability night in and night out on a team in Sacramento that's been really struggling because they had like a lot of young pieces. It seemed like Sabonis, which when they made that Sabonis Halliburton trade, a lot of people laughed at Sacramento for making that move because they were like, "Why would you get?" I don't either, but like I'm a big De'Aaron Fox guy,
So am I.
I was hoping they weren't going to trade Fox. I thought Fox and Halliburton was going to be their future like backcourt, and maybe they move. I don't know.
I
Like one of
thought
those big men that
Fox
they have
and
or
Buddy Hill
whatever.
were going to be the future, but Buddy Hill moved on.
Yeah. Let's
I-
not talk about my boy Buddy.
But I think Buddy Hield kind of had like a slow start to his career.
That's
it seems
true.
like only like the past couple of years he really took off and became the player that I think a lot of people expected when he came out of Oklahoma. Because at Oklahoma,
Uh,
Buddy Hield was like he was a
Buddy
problem in
Buckets.
Oklahoma.
He was
Yeah.
lights out, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it seemed like he kind of struggled to find.
I'm surprised
his
Harrison
way,
Barnes
I
is still
guess.
in the league. Is he still in the Sacramento? Harrison Barnes?
Harrison
actually
Barnes is
having
still
a bad
producing
season.
though.
He's like
Yeah,
he
he's
was on
averaging
that,
like
he was on that
14
prime Warriors
points.
team, right? With like like the prime years of
Mhm.
Curry when he like
Yeah.
it was him, Curry, Steph, Clay, or him, Curry, Clay, Draymond, you
Mhm.
know,
Yeah,
Livingston.
that was like the original, the OG
Yeah.
crew, and then I think Sacramento when they brought him in, it was to be a veteran presence, hopefully to bring like a winning attitude and all that to Sacramento. Didn't really work for a lot of his time there,
Right, right.
but now it seems like they might be onto something. I mean, offensively they can score. Defensively, still some questions there, but they are fun to watch. So at least they got that going for them. Whether they could hold on to a top 6 spot, I don't know. Because you have to assume Portland, Minnesota, Dallas, one of those teams probably figures it out and gets to the top 6. Sacramento might fall into a plane, but for Sacramento, that'd be a huge win for them. Just showing some type of progress at least. Let's see. What other teams are? Dallas, Utah. I mean, Utah's hanging in as a playing team.
Crazy that Lakers are like 6.5 games behind, or if they're 6.5 games below 500 or below. Is that 500 or like from the first spot?
Who?
Like Lakers says they're 6.5.
Yeah, they're 6.5 behind Memphis for the top spot.
That's crazy, man. The way that they've been losing, but they've been winning too. But like, it's like I guess
That's
it's still early in the
because it's
season.
still relatively early, and nobody in the West really jumped out like Milwaukee, Boston, and Cleveland did. A lot of the
Right,
teams in the
right.
West kind of all started slow together,
far.
which is kind of weird. And now we might see Memphis, Denver, New Orleans start to pull away. Because I do think that those are the 3 best teams in the West right now. I'm expecting Phoenix to start dropping a little bit. The Clippers will have to see. It's all going to be based off of
Like Kawhi.
Kawhi and John Wall. So far, John Wall has stayed healthy. I really hope John Wall can make it through the season because it seems like he's really found a place in LA. He's playing like Washington John Wall kind of, and he's still quick as ever with the ball, which is kind of fascinating with all of the leg injuries and stuff that he's had. But he's still quick as ever.
Oh yeah.
And that's why if those 3 stay together and stay healthy, the Clippers will be legitimate threats in the playoffs. Because not all teams going to be able to deal with that wing combo and a guard like Wall. No, there'll be a problem. Even Zubac's in the middle. Got to give him some love too.
Zubac, former Laker, man.
Let's see if there's any other.
Yeah, it's the same thing. We can go to the NFL, man. Get that out the way. If there's no any.
Yeah, I was just seeing if there was another team to. Oh, one last question.
Mm-hmm.
The Raptors. Would you blow it up?
Well, I heard that what's his name?
Wait, Dylan, I think you're muted.
Sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
My cat's been meowing a lot lately, so I don't know how loud she
My dog's
actually
been
gets
barking,
sometimes.
Yeah.
So like I mute my mic.
Yeah, you're good.
But like I was saying, with the Raptors, I saw some NBA like scouts say like the Raptors would get like Donovan Mitchell type packages for OG Anunoby.
That's all I'm gonna
Like
say.
teams want him. Like every team in the
I
NBA
mean,
wants
he's
OG
the one
Anunoby.
guy I would legitimately go after. I've never been a big Siakam guy. I cannot stand watching him play. There's just something about him. I don't know what it is. I don't like watching Siakam, but Anunoby, because I'm assuming the Raptors want to keep Barnes. Even though I have some questions about Barnes as well, but I kind of wonder like what type of team would you have to build around Barnes to get the most out of him? Because it kind of has like a weird play style. But, Anunoby, Van Vliet, I don't even know what you'd really get for Van Vliet anymore. I feel like he was probably at his highest a couple of years ago in terms of value.
I wouldn't mind Van Vliet on a team like like Dallas. I feel like he wouldn't be horrible there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If the Toronto were to put up a for sale sign, they could get some interesting pieces back. Even a guy like Boucher off the bench, a big man who could stretch the floor. You could get stuff for him.
You can move Gary Trent.
Yeah, I mean Gary Trent is like your prototypical 6-man or spot starter, depending on where he would go.
Right.
But the problem is like Toronto's forced to play Siakam at center, but he gets bullied at center by most teams. But then if you put, I don't know if Toronto could be bad enough to really be players for Wembanyama because there's some teams below them that clearly made it clear they're not trying to win. Detroit, Orlando.
Yeah,
I just can't see him in Orlando. Orlando's too young already. I don't need to see it.
I don't want
him, Bull, and they're like all the same.
But then about that, him with Banchero, man. Oh my god, man.
Yeah, but they'll just be young to be young, not really progressing anywhere. Because I think Dylan and I kind of went back and forth with this a couple of weeks ago. Where it's like Orlando needs to kind of pick a core, whether it's Banchero, I don't know, Cole Anthony, Bull. Yeah, if those are the three you want to go with, fine.
And don't they have Wagner, right?
Out, though. Who?
Wagner?
Yeah.
They have like both of them.
Okay.
I think they're both of them, Mo and Franz.
Oh, for real?
Okiki, Suggs. Yeah, they have tons of talent.
They got both the Wagners.
Not being used.
Yeah, and it's just like you can't have a roster with like 12 guys that are all young players because it's like you'll be pushing certain young players at the detriment of other ones. And then it's like, why keep that young player if he's not going to be able to develop in your system? Right. And some of these young pieces, they could get some good veteran players for or whatever. I mean, yeah, Orlando's getting to the point kind of like Detroit too. Detroit has a lot of young pieces. They needed to make some decisions with them. Although it seems like I said, they're going aggressive for Victor with the whole, Cade Cunningham missing the season with a shin injury, which I guess unless his shin's broken, I don't see how that's a season ender. But like I said, they've made it known. They are tanking for him. Utah, some people assumed Utah was going to tank. Who's to say? Trade deadline. Hey, Lauri Markkanen, we'll trade you to so-and-so.
But the thing that upsets me, it's just because people are going to look at it differently because Wembanyama's the player that's available in the draft. He's this top tier talent. And it's and most years, if we had a normal draft class where we had a first round pick and he was just a normal guy, if Lauri Markkanen being traded because the Jazz were good for a little bit wouldn't be crazy. But now that if Lauri Markkanen gets traded at this deadline, it's oh man, you guys are tanking.
It's obvious what they're doing. Yeah.
And it's and that's what's crazy because it's man, you have to be really cautious this year on trading players that in years where you normally wouldn't have to be because there's a big player in that draft class.
Mm-hmm. The lowest team, I think it's the Rockets. So imagine him going to the Rockets with him, Jabari Smith, and Jalen Green.
They're another team that has a lot of young pieces.
San Antonio.
Yeah, but to be fair, it's not like they're young pieces. It's not like they're overfluxed with young pieces.
Right.
Orlando.
They got
I was about to say they're not as bad as Orlando and teams
because with Orlando, there's not really a set core you could have there, but with the Rockets, their core, they could have literally, like Jordan said, Green, Smith, Wembanyama, and then that's your three, and then you could have Şengün, and then some of their other young pieces, Kevin Porter Jr., kind of being those other options.
Yeah. I wouldn't be mad if he was in Houston.
I like that actually, because Jabari Smith, I think, plays a true 4. I think he's a 4 more than he is a 5. You throw Wembanyama out as a 5, you have your front court of KPJ and Jalen Green, and then I don't know who you throw at the 3. Jason Tate, I don't know who's running 3 for the Rockets.
Yeah, I mean at that point they could throw any number of guys in.
If you look, I'm sorry, if I'm a kind of a decent kind of forward and I look at that roster, I'm kind of ooh, that might be a little bit fun to play with. 2-3 years, give them time. Be going to a chip with that roster.
Yeah,
Like DeMar DeRozan looks at the Rockets and he's like, "I'll sign there for a 2-year deal. See what the young guys got going on."
You can stay in Chicago. We're good. I mean, I guess the last thing before we go to NFL, I got to give DeRozan some credit. I had questions about how he would fit in this new style of NBA, and he, for the most part, has stuck to his game plan of he'll kill you in the mid range. He did add somewhat of a 3-point shot to his game, but you could tell he's not comfortable hanging out there. But in the mid range, he's probably still one of the best mid range scorers in the league. Like when he pulls up, you automatically assume it's going in. And
Yeah, he's still a great scorer in this league, which says a lot since it's predominantly a 3-point league.
yeah, it's either 3 points or dunks, and he doesn't really dunk as much anymore as he's gotten older. But
Right.
he
And
can
there's
still
some good
kill you.
DeMar DeRozan poster clips out there.
Oh yeah, especially in Toronto.
Oh yeah.
I think he had the one was like went coast to coast against Detroit, maybe. And I think it was like to win the game. It was only like a few seconds left after he got the rebound, and they like Detroit like opened up the lane for him, and he just took it and he went up and posterized some big man. I can't remember who it was because Detroit's kind of had so many lately, like Okafor and those guys. But,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but all right, let's go NFL. All right, so looking back at this past week, quick thumbs up, thumbs down. I guess before I get into that, did you guys know that like 26 teams are still in the playoff race this late in the year? Actually, it's 27. But
It's 27.
I'm not counting the Colts because I don't see the Colts, doing anything. But I feel like 26 teams have like a legit shot. And this late in the year, that's got to be good for the NFL. It just makes games much more important. And this coming week, which we'll get into after looking at last week, there's a lot of good games on the schedule. But,
Oh, yeah.
all right, so thumbs up, thumbs down. Based off of this past week, so thumbs up, Bengals win the AFC North. Thumbs down, well, I guess at this point, it'd be the Ravens because the Browns and Steelers clearly aren't, involved in anything. Because now the Bengals have a 1-game lead now. Now, of course, they meet the last week of the season. So if the Bengals had the 1-game lead, Ravens win the last week, they get the tiebreaker, the Ravens would end up winning the division. But just throwing it out there.
Ooh.
I mean, I'm pretty sure where you're going, Jordan, but I'm right there with you.
I just don't see Bengals winning out the rest of the. I mean, I see them winning like maybe 2 out of the 3. I'm saying they could lose to the Bills. It's gonna be a tough game.
So 2 out of the 3 would. So you're saying the
means they
Bengals
beat
would
the
win
Ravens.
2 out of the 3?
No, I'm saying they could.
I'm saying
beat
they
the
would
Patriots.
lose 2 out of the 3.
Yeah, so they'll lose 2 out of the 3. So they'll.
So you put the Bengals at 11 wins.
I'm saying
so
the
do
Bills.
you see 2 more wins on the Ravens schedule?
Oh yeah, I mean we play
they
the
play?
Falcons,
Ooh,
Steelers, and Bengals.
Okay.
And I think the Steelers game is in Baltimore. I think it's home. So
Is
I'm not
Lamar
sure this-
playing this Falcons game. I heard he was
they
going to be
said-
back by.
they said Lamar didn't practice today, but I don't know. Just like they're kind of keeping it quiet.
I mean, I think I saw this on another show.
Duvernay but he's out, so it's gonna be a
He's
big
on
blow.
IR.
Yeah.
But
I was
they,
saying,
Guys got Sammy.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, him and Demarcus Robinson would be paired up again. That's nice.
problem is Watkins is another guy that can't stay healthy.
That's true, but
Yeah.
hasn't he stayed healthy all year though? This year?
No.
That's why the
Not
Packers
at
haven't
all.
played him.
Yeah, he has rarely played. And he still had a stint where he was injured for a few weeks, but for the most part, he doesn't really see the field anymore.
We're gonna see the film in Baltimore now. Since Duvernay's out, I don't know who's gonna.
We'll see.
Field.
But okay.
But
So,
yeah, I don't see the Bengals winning out to get the division. I think it's gonna come down to that last game.
I don't think they have to win out. Cincinnati technically only has to win 2 out of the 3.
Yeah,
They
I
get 2
mean,
wins, they get to 12. The only way Baltimore gets to 12 is they win out.
I think if we get in on the way we get in, I think if we get to 10 wins, and then I think we have to run like the Jets or like the Bills to lose or something like that. But
No, if you get to 10 wins, you don't have to worry about anything. You get to 10 wins, you clinch a playoff spot.
yeah,
Pretty much.
so we're at 9. So I mean, we could clinch tomorrow or Saturday.
Yeah, pretty much because
But then again, how come people are saying it's going to be like? How come they're saying that like the Bengals can clinch then if even if we get to 10 wins though? Like, I mean, if they are a game ahead of us.
well, I'm just saying that if you get to 10, you'll basically get in because the only way the Ravens wouldn't get in with 10 wins, you're expecting the Patriots or the Jets to win out, and then you're relying on tiebreakers at that point. I don't
Right.
see the Jets winning out, and the Patriots have one of the toughest final stretches, so I don't see them winning out either. So that's why I said Ravens get to 10, they'll be in. But yeah, so Dylan and I think the Bengals will win it. Jordan, of course, thinks the
Yeah,
Ravens will win it.
I think my analysis is pretty. I mean, I'm keeping it real. I mean, obviously Bengals, Burrows, he's on a hot streak right now.
Like to be completely honest with you, Jordan, you have a good point. I mean, it's not like the Bengals have a cakewalk of a schedule
Right.
and then playing you
Oh,
guys as
no.
their final game when Lamar's probably going to be back. Like that's not going to be an easy game. They always play each other close. Like I'm pretty sure
And
the
plus
Bengals. I'm pretty sure the Bengals have gotten the upper hand the last couple
True.
times in that
I
last
mean,
week, but like still,
yeah.
it's always a good close
I mean,
competitive
they could
game.
lose
There's
to the
so much
Patriots. I
playoffs on
mean,
the
they
line.
can. I mean, I'm not. I mean, I think the Patriots. I mean, I think the Bengals will win that game against the Patriots, but Patriots can. It can't. That can't be. Bengals can't afford to lose a game like over the rest of the way.
Right, they can't. But my
But
thing is
they should win against the Patriots.
Neither
They
can the
should.
Ravens, though. The Ravens can't afford to lose any of
Oh
those
no!
games as
Oh
well.
yeah,
Right.
we can't. Oh no, I'm not.
And-
Oh yeah.
and
But that's big that we had two division games back to back though. Steelers and then
that's true. But
that's kind of big.
it looks like Pickett is back for the Steelers.
He does.
And-
he did get.
And I said that last game against the Steelers, if Pickett finishes that game, the Steelers beat the Ravens. Yes.
Mm.
Trubisky,
No, I mean, it would have given them a shot to win the game, but they wouldn't win the game.
they would have won it.
The way our
I
defense is,
guarantee they would have won that
I
game.
don't know about that. Because
Guaranteed.
Ticket for the
did he
win.
throw? Didn't he throw like 2 picks before he got hurt?
Doesn't matter. He
Still
would have
was in
found
the
a way.
game, to be fair.
Huh?
It still was in the game, to be fair.
Right. With Trubisky throwing 3 interceptions,
Yeah.
it was still a 2-point game.
But I mean, we would have got to him, Kenny Pickett, regardless.
Yeah, but Pickett's just better than Trubisky.
Yeah, but I mean, I wouldn't go as far as they'll win the game. I mean, it give them a good shot. But
Where's Charles Barkley when I need him? Guarantee.
Oh man, you don't want a Charles guarantee those. Those never hit.
I know they never do. He hits like 1 every 4 years, and
But
it's-
I mean, so since you guys are picking the Bengals to like clinch the division, like are y'all just pretending they're gonna win out?
I think the Bengals win 2 out of the 3.
Yeah,
I
I feel
mean,
like
which
they
games?
might lose a
Which
game, but I
games?
feel like they're going to beat you the final week as well.
Yeah, I feel like the
Patriots
Bengals win
and
the
Ravens?
last week and probably win the Patriots game. Even against the Bills, that's their 3rd game, right?
They could still. I mean, hey,
I
they
could
could
see.
beat the
I
Bills,
could if
but-
there's a team that I think Buffalo probably wouldn't want to see. I think it's this Bengals team. It almost seems like after they beat the Chiefs or whatever, they kind of hit another level. And once Chase came back, Mixon came back, because those are the 2 pieces that were missing when they kind of had a little bit of a down part to their season. Once they came back, it was like full system go. But I think their last game, like Hendrickson and like another guy in defense were like went out or something like that. I mean, I think they're healthy or whatever, but that's going to be a key for Cincinnati is their defensive line with Hendrickson, their ability to pressure quarterbacks, and Mixon. I do think even though Burrow can throw it all over the place, I really think Mixon's going to be a major part for them come playoffs and this last stretch run.
I
If
agree.
they get him going, that just makes the Bengals that much more dangerous. And
Exactly, because a lot of people are going to try to play their pass with Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
But if they can get Mixon going, like you got to try to
Yeah.
stop both.
exactly, like Buffalo and Kansas City, Cincinnati is a team that they'll be watching because
Well, I
that's one of the
mean,
teams that
Kansas
could
City
easily
doesn't
go
want
to
to in the
Arrowhead
playoffs
and win.
again. Yeah,
Yeah.
they already lost. They beat them last year.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like Cincinnati can go to Arrowhead, win no problem, and they can go to Orchard Park and win as well. Okay. Let me see another one. All right. So looking at the NFC North now, Vikings, we pretty much know will win that division.
Yeah, they
But
locked
looking
it
at
up already.
Detroit and Green Bay, do you guys see either one of them like making a playoff run? Right now, Detroit is like a half game
7-7.
out behind Washington, and Green Bay is only a game and a half out. So who's more likely to make the playoffs between Detroit and Green Bay? Thumbs up, Detroit. Thumbs down, Green Bay. I'm gonna go Detroit.
I'm gonna go Detroit. The way that they're just like the Texans, where they're not really, as far as these, like track record of being like the worst teams. Like the teams are either. I mean, golf this year has been,
Right?
not. And yeah, great. He's been great. I'm saying that like they're teams that like they will fight to the end. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Well,
we saw with the Texans and Chiefs game, they hung on with the Chiefs. Like they're teams that like are. You wouldn't expect them to make the playoffs, but you expect them to be in a dogfight. And Dan Campbell has been a voice for the Detroit. Here comes Brett.
I was just about to say,
man.
Brett. Green Bay they have to go to Miami. They have Minnesota and Detroit at home. That Detroit Green Bay game last week of the season could be an interesting one.
It's gonna be like Ravens and Bengals. It's gonna be like Ravens and Bengals. It's gonna be like that big of a game.
Let me see Detroit's final games. They have to go to Carolina. They get Chicago and then to Green Bay. So, I mean, the Lions. You expect Carolina and Chicago. They definitely could get those wins. Green Bay. I mean, Green Bay could be playing spoiler at that point. We don't know. And then, of course, it's also going to depend on the Giants, the Commanders, and even Dylan Seahawks, even though we know you're not going to pick them anymore. But, I mean, Seattle might have the toughest
We have
stretch
tiebreaker over Detroit. We have tiebreaker over Detroit because we beat them this season at their home.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Seattle, they have at Kansas City, but then they have Jets and the Rams after. And I think I did an episode on my show, whatever, and I said after San Francisco and Kansas City, which I thought those two were going to be tough for Seattle, I thought their season would come down to the Jet-Ram last 2 games of the year. And I think the Seahawks could win both those games, not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah,
so
we definitely need to get our shit together. That's for sure. A big win in Kansas City would be nice. Seattle plays Kansas City fairly close most of the times. I'm pretty sure the only time
if they
Seattle's...
if they got the Kansas City win, I would expect Seattle to get in. I think that would.
I'm pretty sure. I'm not trying to jinx it. Knock on wood. Maybe that's why I haven't fucking been getting my picks right. But like last time Seattle played Kansas City, I'm pretty sure like it was in Arrowhead or near Arrowhead. I'm pretty sure we beat them. They beat us in the preseason, I guess technically since then, if you want to count that. But that's preseason. Mm-hmm. But I think last regular season time we played them, we beat them.
Okay.
So yeah, like before we get, I just wanted to look. So the scenarios for the Ravens to get in. So basically, like what you, now I'm just saying, like
no,
how you
go
said.
ahead. I like hearing the scenarios out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So so this is how they can clinch or they can in playoff spot. So number 1, Baltimore win plus New England loss / tie plus New York Jets loss.
I was about to say that's the easiest way in.
Yeah. Baltimore win 2, New England loss tie 2 plus Miami loss tie 3, Baltimore win plus New Jersey loss / tie plus Miami loss to tie. Baltimore tie, I don't say the tie, but plus New England loss. Baltimore the Jets host the Jaguars actually on Thursday night.
Yep.
who have won the 2 straight over the Titans and Cowboys on Thursday night.
Man,
The
man, I'm gonna
Patriots
be a
still-
big Jacksonville fan. I'm gonna be
Oh,
a
yeah.
big Jacksonville fan on Thursday.
So basically, if the Ravens win and the Jets and Patriots lose, only 7 teams or fewer will be capable of finishing with 10 or more wins this season. Baltimore will have already met the threshold and 7 teams make the playoffs. So if Baltimore gets 10 wins and the Jets and Patriots both drop one of their remaining 3 games, Ravens win.
Yeah, they
will make
can
the
only
playoffs.
win
So
9,
basically, I'm saying what you already said, but I mean,
Yes, I
so
said the easiest way
who do the
is
Patriots play? Like I know they play the Bengals, but who do they play? Like the
they have
last?
Bengals, Bills, Dolphins.
Oh man,
Oh, God.
we're in the playoffs, man. I'm sorry, bro.
No,
but
Man,
like Dylan said, I'm not
I
gonna be.
said with New England, the Minnesota game on Thanksgiving,
Man,
the way
that
that
game,
ended,
yeah, lost. That was crucial, man.
and
Like,
the Raiders loss were 2 losses they couldn't have. And yes, could they go on? Well, the Dolphins have to go to New England. Although I gotta say, Dolphins played pretty well against Buffalo in those elements. I don't know what New England's weather would look like then, but at least Miami showed they could play somewhat in cold weather. So maybe that's not going to be such a factor this time
They got-
around. But
man, they got Bengals, Dolphins.
could they beat the Dolphins? Yes. The Bills are always a tough matchup for New England because even if your defense plays really well, you can't really stop Josh Allen if he tucks the ball and starts running it. And as big as he is, if you're playing like a man defense and your corners and stuff are, chasing wide receivers, and then you turn around and Josh Allen's like 2 feet behind you running at you,
right.
that's where he's really tough. So that's going to be a game where Judon and Uche will have to be like living in Josh
Lights
Allen's
out.
pocket. Yeah. So it's going to be tough on New England, but to be honest with you, when I did like a season preview thing, I did not have New England in the playoffs. I had them winning.
So
I had them winning like 8-9 games, and I didn't think that was going to be enough.
So
And
the crazy thing with me is like I gave Seattle a little more hope just being the Seattle fan I am. I'm like, Seattle's probably going to get around like 8-9 games, and that's kind of where we're heading. So
Yeah.
let's go. Let's get 10. I want
Yeah.
10. Win out.
even though most people had Seattle as like a 3-4 win team, and I was like, I thought that was kind of disrespectful.
They thought our first round, our personal first round pick was going to be like second or third. It's the Denver picks. That's the second or third overall pick right now.
Yeah.
see, that's where I'm confused because so say we get to say we beat the Falcons, right? We'll be 10-5. Bengals. Say if the Bengals win against the Patriots, they'll be 11-4.
Yep.
So do we still like with the division? I mean, will we still be in first place? Could we have that tiebreaker?
No.
Tiebreaker only comes into effect if they have the same exact record.
Yeah. You have to have the same exact
So
record.
even if
whoever has the best
even
record.
even if we beat the Falcons and Bengals win, we'll still be a game behind them.
Yep. As long as the Bengals keep
But we'll
winning,
still
you
get to
guys
the
will always
playoffs,
be a
though,
game
but
behind.
the division is kind of like
Yep. You'll get a wild card. You'll probably get like the 5th seed.
Yeah.
5th or 6th.
Yeah, because I mean, you're only a game up on the Chargers and the Dolphins,
right,
so you got to
right.
make sure you don't drop too many games and drop to like a 7 seed, and then find yourself playing Kansas City in the first round.
Right.
At
So
least now, if you're in 5th, you get the AFC South winner, probably guaranteed. So you
it's
get Tennessee or
Tennessee
Jacksonville.
Maybe
'Cause Jacksonville's still in the
Jacksonville?
race. And that was gonna be my
T-Law?
last up and that was gonna be my last thumbs up, thumbs down.
Well, who would get that?
Thumbs up, Jaguars win that division. Thumbs down, Tennessee wins that division.
What's Tennessee's record right now? I know what
Tennessee is
Jacksonville's
7-7. Jacksonville's 6-8.
6 and and did Tennessee beat Jacksonville already once this season, or how many times have they played?
Let me see. I could tell you that really quickly. Tennessee lost to Jacksonville earlier in this year, and they played Jacksonville last week of the season. This last week of the season is going to be crazy. So
I want to say
Jacksonville
yes.
right now has the tiebreaker.
I want to say yes because I said Tennessee was not going to be good this year. That Jacksonville was going to be better than Tennessee this year.
Yeah, I said on
Yeah,
pregame
I'm
picks a
going
couple
for
of
it.
weeks back that Jacksonville could win that division. Then
Yeah.
Jacksonville went on that
You know,
losing streak, but I'm right there with you. I think Jacksonville gets it.
I
Now I'll
literally
let you know
said,
Tennessee
oh, no,
schedule:
Go ahead.
Houston, Dallas,
Ooh,
both at
easy.
home,
Oh
at Jacksonville.
man, they could go 1-1 in those games, and
Come down to that last week.
So
Jacksonville
Jacksonville has the
schedule.
Jets on Thursday.
Jets on the road, Texans on the road, then Tennessee at home.
Oh yeah, dude. You're telling me Tennessee's gonna be probably 2-0 going against Titans in the final week, while Tennessee's gonna be 1-1 after a loss to the Cowboys? Oh
That could
man,
happen. I'm right
Man.
there with you. I think Jacksonville,
Zay
as
Jones,
crazy as
Zay
their
Jones
year
and
has
Christian
been.
Kirk.
Yeah,
Zay Jones and Christian Kirk in the playoffs.
Yeah, I definitely
going
see
for it.
Jacksonville getting to being the division winner. I think thumbs up on that one.
I feel like
And
Trevor
that would
Lawrence
be
is
crazy
look
to
at that
get
NFL
Trevor
poster
Lawrence.
boy then.
yeah. I mean, that's gonna be interesting. You'd have, if Jacksonville gets in, you'd have a playoffs with Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Tua,
Hurts.
Justin Herbert, Trevor Lawrence.
Oh,
in the
yeah,
AFC.
AFC. Yeah,
And
yeah.
then if you the NFC is a little weirder because then you're gonna have
Yeah.
the NFC's always weird. You're gonna have like Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts, Geno Smith,
Kirk
Brock
Brock
Cousins,
Purdy,
Possibly.
Kirk Cousins,
could
Well,
be Taylor Heineke.
I'm gonna say Heineke.
maybe
yeah.
Daniel Jones,
It's
maybe Aaron
How
Rodgers,
crazy
maybe
is that?
Jared Goff.
So me being a Ravens fan, we want that fifth seed. That's the goal, like that. Because
If you
Yeah,
don't
if
win
you
the
can't win
division,
division,
you
you
want
can't
the
win the
division.
division.
Yeah, because I think if we win their next 2 out of 3 games, we basically are fighting for the division week 18. But if we win one,
That final week is
or-
probably going to be your division game. That's
Yeah,
what's probably
yes.
going to decide.
if we
Because if the Bengals win out and you win out, like
hmm
yeah, that's gonna be.
So here's going to be an interesting scenario, though. Let's say Ravens lose to the Falcons this week. Bengals
Okay.
beat the Patriots. You're now 2 games back. Do you, and let's say Lamar doesn't play this week, like would you rush Lamar back to play the final 2 weeks to make a push
Yeah,
at the Bengals,
you
hoping they
have
lose,
to.
or do you just play for the 5th
I
seed
think you
and
have
be
to
like,
play him, period, because at that point you would be tied with the Chargers and the Dolphins for those playoff spots, and if Huntley just has just another bad game and they lose that other game, now you're out of the playoffs. Now you're completely out. And it's like, the Patriots won one of those games, maybe play upset, play spoiler. Now, like, the Patriots are in, and you guys are out. So I think if they lose, you
Well,
have to
yeah,
get Lamar back in
I didn't
because you
even look
have to
at-
win.
Yeah, because I didn't even look at the Chargers schedule. They go to Indy. They have Rams at home. Go to Denver. The Chargers might win out.
Man.
Yep.
So that complicates my whole
I'm so
scenario.
glad I
because
didn't
at that
hop
point,
off the Chargers hype train too. I literally said it on our Sunday show when they played the Dolphins. I was like, I'm not hopping off the Chargers hype train. I feel like they're gonna figure it out. They're gonna beat the Dolphins, and they got an easy schedule. They're gonna make the playoffs. I believe in Justin Herbert. I believe in the team, and now look at him.
and then just to give context, the Dolphins have Green Bay at home, go to New England, get the Jets at home. I mean, the Dolphins
It's gonna be very interesting.
could be a 10-win team. So
It's going to be an
I don't know,
interesting
AFC
playoffs because
AFC
it's
is gonna
like
be
it's
interesting.
not even like the NFL's like. I mean, of course, you can say the Eagles are probably the NFL's best team, but it's not like by any means the Eagles are like by far like the best team. Like people are going to be like, well, don't forget about like Buffalo and Kansas City and other teams like them. So it's going to be good.
Mhm.
This is probably going to be one of the most competitive playoffs we've had in a while because it's going to be so many unexpected. It's like last year's playoffs was pretty unexpected. Like I feel like we could see the same. Like,
Mhm. Yeah.
you see Brock Purdy make it to
But
an
like I-
NFC
but like I said,
championship. I ain't
mean-
gonna be.
I mean, yeah, records
And
do
just
matter.
looking at-
But like I
Go
said,
ahead,
records do matter in the season. But like when it comes to playoffs, like everyone's 0-0. I mean,
One
anything
game.
can happen.
One game.
So it's like,
Mhm.
man,
And then crazy thing is with the NFC South the way it is, whoever comes out of that division gets a home game. Most likely would play Dallas in the first round. And I'm sure if I'm Dallas, as bad as Tampa Bay is, I guess
I
that's
don't
the
want to
team
play
you at
Tom
least want to
Brady
see.
at home in the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's
Because
Tom
as bad
Brady's
as it's
bread
been
and
with Tom
butter.
Brady, I could see him because if they face Dallas, everybody will be like, "Oh, Dallas will," Micah Parsons, yeah, they'll kill him. And
I don't
just as
think
Tom
so.
Brady is built, they would go up against Dallas. They'll probably play the best game of their season, beat the Cowboys. Then you're like, wait, so now you just have to go to Philly next week and face Jalen
Which
Hurts
you've
and the
already
Eagles
beat
team that
before. Which you've already beaten
Right.
before in the playoffs. You made Jalen Hurts your baby that game.
yeah. So they do that, and the next thing you know, oh, NFC title game, you get Kirk Cousins or Brock Purdy and the Niners. It could be
I
a
don't
weird,
know.
weird
I really
NFC
like-
too.
I was gonna say
Brock
all the
Purdy
games
and
are
the
on
Niners.
Saturday.
We're punching Tom Brady in the face last time they played, though. So
That's true. I mean, I've been on the whole Niners bandwagon for several weeks. I think that defense alone, as long as Brock Purdy doesn't turn into like Carson Wentz or Trubisky and causes too many turnovers, I think if they play smart offensively, that defense is really good to the point
Yeah.
where that defense could carry them to a Super Bowl.
yeah, I said in that Seattle game, like Brock Purdy wasn't by all means like impressive. Like he had like good accuracy numbers, but he wasn't like throwing anything big. He wasn't throwing big touchdowns or anything like that. And I was like, the defense is going to carry him. You don't need Brock
Yeah.
Purdy to score a lot of points because every other team's offense isn't going to score a lot. So if you can go
Right.
get Brock Purdy to score 21 a game, okay, you're
Golden.
probably fine. You're
Yeah.
probably fine.
All right.
Yeah, I
Let's go to
realized that
picks.
all the games are on Saturday. I forgot about that. This Christmas Day on Sunday. Well, no, there's a few on Sunday actually. Never mind.
Yeah, there's Christmas Day games.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss the first couple hours of the Seattle game, which sucks. It's like, man, I get off
Yeah,
at like
I
2.
remember
It's
that.
like, why couldn't you make the game the 3 o'clock game? Why you gotta screw me over like that?
Right, it's not the stream the Ravens game because I saw the Netflix televised.
I don't have. This is like the outside of primetime games. This is the first Seattle game I can watch on like actual television because they're playing the Chiefs, and I live in like the Oklahoma Midwest area, so Chiefs games are like the number one game that takes precedence.
Yeah. Wait, Jordan, which area? You're in the Jersey area?
Yeah, so the Giants are going to play on Fox the same time Ravens are going to play the
Oh
Fox.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. The Cowboy, the Chiefs usually take CBS, and then the
Giants
Cowboys
play
take Fox.
Vikings. No one wants to see that bullshit ass game. Giants versus Vikings.
I'm
they
sorry.
do.
More people are going to want to see that than probably
Yeah.
Ravens.
Who wants to see Falcons Ravens?
Bruh, Desmond
see
Ritter threw
Ravens-
50% passes last week.
I wanna
No one's
see-
gonna
I wanna
watch
see
it.
Some
I
of
wanna
those
see-
passes by Ritter, whew, he was like late and they should have been picked off. But I mean, it's
I
his
mean-
first start, so it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, but
Shoot, he
And
can't.
it's kind of
he
unexpected
can't
too. It's
He
not
can't
like
do that against our
it's not
defense,
like
man.
it's
Yeah,
not
but
like
that's what I'm
Ritter's
saying.
in
Nobody
line to
wants to watch
start
that.
this week. It's not like Ritter's in line to start this week. It's like now
I mean,
Ritter's.
I guess we're going to
in.
destroy the Giants too. So.
yeah, but I'd rather
I
see
don't
that.
believe so, man. I know we didn't really talk about the Vikings, but like briefly, what the hell? Like
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Okay.
They should
That's-
never have been in that situation against that Colts team. Never.
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm the biggest Vikings fraud
Hey.
talker. They won fair and square. Like
Yeah,
that's
that's
a
it.
very impressive win. Very
Mhm.
impressive win. Largest comeback in NFL history, I think they said. So by all
think so.
means, by all
Yes.
means, very impressive. But like, man, you can't be down 33 to the Colts at half. You can't
Right.
be doing that this late into the season. That's a little scary. Like props for coming back, but
Mhm.
doesn't look cute to your fans.
Right. I mean, those Vikings fans were booing 3/4 of that game. Like they were sick of it. First quarter,
Yeah,
I thought like the whole stadium was gonna walk out. They were done with that team.
It was like 21-0. I was like, what is happening?
Yeah. And I've been
Jeff
a
Saturday.
big.
Also, Jeff Saturday won't be the coach there next season just because of that
he,
game.
He doesn't deserve to be the.
Nope.
Like Steve Smith was going in on Jeff Saturday. He was done with him already. He's like, yeah, this guy's not a coach. He shouldn't have been a coach anyway. I mean, we're gonna have to see who they actually hire there because I think that's gonna be a job a lot of people are gonna be paying attention to because of Irsay and the way he likes to deal with stuff. Like, does he bring in a minority coach? Does he just hire some random dude off the street again just to be like, yeah, I'm Jim Irsay. I do what I want. And it's like, okay.
I don't know, man. The Colts are not even like a good destination to really go into, like team wise. I look at that roster and like there's some good pieces. I like Quentin Nelson. He's been injured though. Darius Leonard, really great defensive piece. He's still kind of had his injuries. They still have Stephon Gilmore there. He's a little bit older. He's not a defensive player of the year candidate. And then it's
Justin
like,
Jefferson undressed Stephon Gilmore.
yeah,
But it is
exactly.
Justin Jefferson. But you know.
Exactly.
But their quarterback
that's the former
situation-
defensive player of the year.
Yeah.
So
But their quarterback situation isn't fun to deal with right now. I don't know who's good. I mean, I don't know who gets that job, but it's going to be a
They
tough one.
have to draft somebody. They have to draft a quarterback. You know, like
Yes.
I feel like no matter who's available by your pick, if you don't trade up, you just take the best quarterback available. Like if Will Levis is there by your guys' pick, you look at Will Levis and go, okay.
Yeah.
If you get lucky and CJ Stroud drops to you, you take CJ
You
Stroud.
run
Like,
up there and take them. Yep.
yeah, you do whatever you can. Like if CJ Stroud drops past like 5 or 6, like he doesn't go in the top 2, 3, 4 picks, you gotta be making some trades. You gotta be calling or Bryce Young. But yeah, you gotta get someone in there. You gotta just get you gotta get a coach in there who's just ready to talk about development. You trade out some of your older guys, like get picks and rebuild. This Colts team does not need to think about playoffs. Like Ursay needs to realize that. Like this team is not anywhere near equipped enough to even think about a playoff run. It's not like you can add pieces to this roster and they're ready. You don't have great receivers. Your running back, Jonathan Taylor, that's like the only solidified position, but you have the question marks on your whole offensive line outside of like your guards, but they've been injured.
And Jonathan Taylor's been
defense.
used up as well
Yeah.
these past few years. I worry about
he's never
how much
never
he
missed
can
a
go.
game until this season. He's never missed
Yeah.
a game until this season, and that says a lot. He's been out now twice with 2 separate injuries. Like,
Yeah, with running backs, it usually doesn't get better once they start getting injured.
yeah, trading Naheem Hines wasn't smart.
Yeah.
They definitely need to draft a running back now to like, even if it's like a 4th, 5th round back, they need to draft someone to take some of that workload off of them. It just seems like all their running backs were getting injured though this year. It's like their running back, their backup, and then their backup's backup got like injured.
Yeah, because it's crazy that they had a Super Bowl window with Andrew Luck.
Yep.
He retired, and like when he retired, the championship window closed because they
Even
tried
then, like they
Wentz,
didn't even
they
have a
tried
bad
Phillip Rivers.
roster.
Yeah, they didn't, and then it's like all at one time. It like some guys started getting hurt that never did. Because even Shaq Leonard, I guess as he goes by now, he was kind of a guy you relied on, but he got hurt this year. Well, I think when Luck left, they had like T.Y. Hilton and stuff as the wide receivers, but
The new cowboy.
yeah,
That's crazy.
I mean they have Pittman Jr. I like
they
Pittman.
do have Pittman. They have Pittman. I was thinking more of like, I guess I haven't seen him play a lot this year. I'm thinking more of like Alex Pearson, Paris Campbell is what I know. I was meaning bad receivers. I forgot about Pittman really.
Yeah,
I mean, they have like a decent roster. It's just like you need a
they
lot.
have glaring holes.
Yeah, they need a lot.
Yeah.
They don't have really a tight end there. Mo Alley Cox should not be your answer at tight end, and he's not.
Like, because roster-wise, it's decent, but seeing them on the field, like you watch them play a couple of plays, you're like, yeah, I can see why this team's not winning. They need this, 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 and this. Defensively, they need that. Yeah, so it's going to be a couple of year rebuild there.
I don't know.
And
It's
whether
interesting
Irsay's
about the Colts because, like, I feel like they're one of those teams that, like, I'm not sure if it's coaching or whatever they have there. Like, if they could get a decent roster, they can put something together. Like, they will compete in the AFC. What is it? South.
Yeah.
They'll compete in the AFC South. Like, they've had some rosters that have been very question mark, very suspect, and then like they almost make the playoffs. And it's like, oh well. Might just have some good coaching. So I think they can have a window where they can be good because the Colts are one of those teams that like aren't super dangerous when it comes to playoff time, but like they have some experience there. They know what they're doing when it comes to the playoffs. Like we've seen them have some great moments against some good teams like that Kansas City come back with Andrew Luck. So they do something there, but it's just like you can't be drafting like unless they go out and get like Aaron Rodgers this offseason. They have to draft a quarterback.
If I'm a team, I honestly don't want to deal with the Rodgers headache at this point in his career.
Aaron Rodgers in a dome, though? Or Lucas Oil's a dome, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Okay. So let's get through picks. Get through these really quickly. So Thursday night, Jacksonville Jets. As we just talked about, it's a big game because for Jacksonville, they get this win, they could find themselves in a tie for the AFC South, actually be in the lead because of the tiebreaker. The Jets at this point kind of need to win out to have a shot at the playoffs after their great start to the season. Looking at this game, they lose, you could probably count them out of the playoffs. So where are you going with this one?
Jacksonville.
Jordan. Okay, Jacksonville. Jordan, who you got?
I'm going Jacksonville.
All right. Yeah, I am too. I mean, Dylan and I basically said we're on the Jacksonville winning that division train, so
Oh.
they basically need this game.
I'm definitely on
Get
the
my
train
Zay
too.
Jones.
Oh,
Get my
that's right.
Zay
Yeah,
Jones
you were on there
jerseys
too.
ready.
Yes.
Get my Zay Jones jerseys ready. 3 touchdowns. Crazy.
Yeah. And they revitalized Christian Kirk. Christian
Exactly.
Kirk was looking like a bust in Arizona. Now in Jacksonville, this is legit. All right, Saturday will basically be like the Sunday basically slate that it looks like. But Saturday night got Raiders Steelers. Both teams are 6-8. Once again, basically an elimination game for the loser of this one. Pittsburgh is a 3-point favorite, so that's basically just because they're at home. Raiders coming off that crazy win over the Patriots. We'll see if that carries over into this game or not. And as I said, looks like Pickett will play for the Steelers. So I don't know if that sways your pick in any way. But start with Dylan on this one. Who you got, Raiders or Steelers?
I think I'm going to take the Raiders in this one. They played a really good Patriots defense. I don't think anything the Steelers really have on their defense is going to be as great as what the Patriots were probably throwing at them, and that was a good competitive game. Argue that the Patriots might have probably should have won the game. It was tied before that crazy lateral. You know, Patriots probably could have won that game, but I think
The
overall,
Hollins
the
TD
Raiders,
catch was not a touchdown.
yeah,
But I'm not
Yeah,
going to dwell on that.
fair enough. But with that being said, I still think the Raiders are playing better football than the Steelers. I know Steelers kind of had a little quarterback mix up with Kenny Pickett being out with that concussions, but I still don't think that the Steelers are a better team overall than the Raiders. I feel like the Raiders are kind of hot, and they're going to make a kind of a late push, but they're going to be the Raiders and choke at the end. So yeah, I'm going Raiders.
Jordan, who you got?
Yeah, I figure we're doing Raiders. I think Adams is gonna. I mean, even with Josh Jacobs, is gonna rip them apart. You know, because Adams is, you know, obviously he did have a slow start in him and Derek Carr, but this is a game where I think the Raiders can, you know, especially with that walk-off win against the Patriots. I mean, I think that they got a little bit of momentum going to the Steelers game. Is it a home game for Raiders or is it?
No, it's in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I mean, I still
Pittsburgh
kind of
8-15 could be interesting in terms of the wind there with that lake effect, but I mean, that only really is a factor on field goals.
Yeah, I definitely see. I have the Raiders winning.
All right. Yeah, I have the Raiders winning as well for what you guys said. I think the Raiders right now are the better team. Interesting to see what Pickett looks like. But yeah, I got the Raiders. So Sunday, we can pick all three, but only one. There's only one game that's really somewhat decent, and that's the 1:00 game Sunday. Packers, Dolphins. Dolphins are 8-6. Packers are 6-8. Packers need this win to keep their playoff chances alive. It's in Miami. Who you got?
I am taking the Packers in this one. It's probably the last time I will pick the Packers this week if they lose. Basically, if they win this game, I'm going to probably try to pick them to win out. I feel like they could be a sneaky team to take a wild card spot. Hopefully not away from Seattle, I hope. Like, you know, maybe we can take one of those NFC East teams out as well. But NFC, not East. Like, is that East? Yeah, I guess the NFC East teams out. Yeah, I think the Packers played well yesterday. I mean, they were definitely doing things on offense. Like, Aaron Rodgers looked like he was getting pretty nice with his receivers. Christian Watson was getting passes. Romeo Doubs was getting passes. It looked like Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon were finding proper holes rushing. Like, the Packers offense looked good. And then, of course, the Rams have nothing when it comes to their offensive end. So it's not like, you know, putting them to 12 points is really anything too impressive. But they played well overall. I feel like the Packers are a team that can play upset, and the Miami's one of those teams that kind of has some inconsistencies some weeks. And I feel like, you know, you give Aaron Rodgers a chance, you can never count him out. So if the game gets close, I feel like Aaron Rodgers could rip it, you know, to make a bad mistake there and the game gets closed out or something like that, or just a bad, you know, punt they can't convert or something. So I'm going the Packers.
All right, Jordan, who you got?
Yeah, I think I got the Packers. I mean, hey, look at the Aaron Rodgers. Where they play the they play Miami.
Yeah.
Oh no, I got Miami, man. Miami's are coming as a 4-point favorite.
Wait. They're putting Denver and LA on Nickelodeon.
Oh, they are.
They're putting the Broncos Rams on Nickelodeon. Oh, that's funny because that's a goofy game too.
Oh, okay.
Oh man.
Yeah, because ESPN
Yeah.
it has it as CBS, but I guess Nickelodeon will probably show it at the same time.
Yeah,
Which, I
because I'm
mean,
looking at the
that's
YouTube
probably
TV
perfect.
schedule and literally says on Christmas Denver Rams Nickelodeon.
I've never watched the broadcast on Nickelodeon.
Oh my God, who are they going to give the MVP to? It's going to be either Russell Wilson or like Baker Mayfield. It's going to be the losing quarterback of that game.
I might check it out on Nickelodeon, see what kind of goofy stuff I've seen clips like on TikTok where they kind of put like SpongeBob
slime
in
in
the
the
net
end
and all.
zone. Yeah, dude, it's crazy. It's wild. I love watching the games. They have actually good stat tracking though in the games, so I'll give it that. I'll give them that.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, reaching a younger audience. I mean, I can't be mad at that. I think it's a smart move to do that.
I mean, put a game on there that nobody really cares to watch. You know, if you see like a young kid sees it on Nick, he's going to be like, "Oh, might as well watch it." You know, SpongeBob's talking about football, I guess.
Oh
Patrick
yeah, I'll
explaining
give
why
it
the
so,
Russell Wilson contract was a horrible idea.
I mean, we could all come up with a reason why that is, but I actually will go Dolphins over the Packers. If the game was in Green Bay, I'd go Green Bay. I just
That's exactly why I'm going Green Bay, is because if it was at home, like everyone would expect Green Bay to win a game like that, you know, be like more of an upset. But like, no, it's in Miami. I'm going to expect Green Bay to upset there.
yeah. I mean that's true, but it's just like with two in that offense, I don't know.
No, I see your point. I'm literally going on a
Aaron
limb.
Rodgers keep up with that? And
Every time
I
I pick the
should be rooting
Packers,
for
they
Green
upset
Bay
me.
because the Dolphins loss at least keeps the window
Helps it.
somewhat open for New England, but I just don't see it here.
As
I
an
gotta go
analyst,
Dolphins.
you're picking Miami, but as a fan, you're rooting for Green Bay.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, Broncos Rams at 4:30. We don't need to talk a lot about this game. Who you got, Broncos or Rams?
I guess I'll go Denver's defense. Keep. No, actually, I'm going Rams. I'm going Rams.
Yeah, I'll go
I'm going
Rams.
I'll go
I got
Rams.
just make my Seattle pick better. Make my first round draft pick better. You know.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield's
Right now,
gonna
it's
show
like-
up for Nickelodeon.
It's like that's of course that's going to be where he shows up at.
Yeah. Then the final game on Sunday. Sorry, Bucks Cardinals. I mean, that's a yawn.
I think we
I'm
got
going
the
Bucks. I'm sure we got all Bucks on that one.
Yeah, I don't think Colt McCoy is really going to be it.
Yeah. And then Monday night, Chargers Colts. I'm assuming we all have Chargers.
Yeah. I can't trust the Colts with any sort of lead now.
These random block. All right. All right. So lock and upset, and then I guess we can kind of get out of here off of that. So, Jordan, who's your lock and upset?
So my lock,
I think we know where you're going.
I mean, I did pick the lock for freaking last week and we lost. So I might veer away from the Ravens, but I do have confidence that the Ravens will win.
Okay.
But I'm gonna go with a more. I mean, I want to say. What, God? What?
We know you want to say it. Your lock is Ravens or the Falcons. Just go ahead.
I do.
Just
but
go ahead.
what is the money line?
7.5.
Just go for it.
Might
man.
be
It's your
wild.
team.
But
Yeah. All right, I'll go with the Ravens for my lock.
there you go.
It's an easy lock. It's an easy lock. I was thinking about doing it.
I don't know how often you've seen the Falcons play. It is not pretty in Atlanta right now.
Yeah, I don't care for the Falcons right now. I don't care. I
They
was
got
gonna
Drake
pick the
London.
Bills, and
Oh,
I was gonna pick Bills over.
Nice.
I was gonna pick Bills over the Bears, but that's not like a
Okay.
lot. But I'm doing Ravens Falcons. I guess it's gonna support my team. Then my upset will be Man, I want to say Patriots over Bengals because I want to see the Bengals lose, but
Hey, run with
Kyle
it if you want
Kyle
to.
doesn't hate that. He's like, help me out.
Damn, the Cowboys are a favorite with the Eagles. I'm gonna do the Eagles over
Yeah,
the
no
Cowboys.
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts isn't playing.
Oh
That's
yeah,
why.
no, never mind. Yeah, I'm gonna do Patriots over
But
Bengals.
Gardner Minshew.
Minshew mania.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, I'm gonna go with the I'm gonna go with X. Okay. I'm gonna Patriots over Bengals for my upset.
okay. I mean, it could very well happen. If you count out Bill Belichick, he finds a way to kind of surprise you.
Man. Like that Judon, like
Yeah, that's gonna be the key. If Judon and Uche can hit Burrow, that's gonna give them a shot.
because I mean, yeah, Buccaneers. I mean, they got that win against the Buccaneers, but Buccaneers are depleted. You know, they turn the ball over so much. I mean, I know Tom Brady. They were like up like 17, I think, I believe. And they came back, but you know, they fumbled the ball. Like just their O line is depleted. Like it was a good win by the Bengals, but I think Patriots can get a run for the money because of just of their defense, and then so I think they can bounce back from that terrible loss against the Raiders.
Okay. Dylan, what do you have? Lock and upset.
I'm gonna, man, the games are kind of weird this week, so I'm gonna use the Packers as my upset just because, yeah.
Okay.
We talked about some of the other games, you know, so a little bit more like when it comes to like the Chargers, Bucks, Broncos, Packers, so it leaves me a little bit less of a list. So going the Packers into my lock. Man, I really don't want to. I don't know. I'm not taking the Ravens, but it's like I don't want to pick the 49ers because I think the Commanders could upset. Jordan already picked the Bills.
No, I mean,
No, he took the Ravens. You could take the Bills.
Oh, I guess I did. Nah, I can't. This is my fantasy championship this week, and I got Justin Fields playing. I got $150 on the line, so I can't have that bad juju on me. I'm going the 49ers over the Commanders.
Okay. All right. So my turn. I'll start with my lock. My upset might shock you, but lock, I'm gonna go. I'd probably go Chargers over the Colts, but
I guess that's a good game too.
yeah, I'll go Chargers over the Colts. That seems like an obvious one. So my lock, I mean upset. Like I said, usually go like off the deep end with these. I have a weird feeling that the Texans upset the Titans.
I was thinking that. I literally looked at that game and I was like, I could say that. I could say the Texans go in there and beat them, but I'm like, man, haven't seen anything good from the Texans like that makes me think they could win a game. Like they play people close, but they can't win a game.
Well, that's the crazy thing. The Titans offensively aren't that dynamic, and the Texans defense, say what you want. Like they come to play every week. They kind of keep the Texans in a lot of games. It's just whether or not offensively they can do anything to help them out. So I think only because the Titans aren't going to really run away from them, at least the way I think that game goes, I could see the Texans pulling the upset there. And if that happens, the whole AFC picture is going to get wild. Because if we have the Jacksonville Jaguars winning and the Jaguars end up in the number 4 spot, I mean, I would say for your Ravens fans, I think you'd much rather see Tennessee than Jacksonville. Because Jacksonville, I mean, I would rather face Tannehill over Trevor Lawrence. And Titans don't really have that many weapons on the outside. But with Jacksonville, they could come at you with, was it Travis Etienne in the backfield, but Zay Jones, Christian Kirk. Doug Peterson as an offensive mind would scare me in the playoffs because he's just willing to try anything.
A quick tight end.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Ingram, who couldn't work in New York, but he seems like a really good tight end in Jacksonville. All right. So those are our picks. We'll do final thoughts and then get out of here. So you guys have anything you want to talk about real quick before we get out of here?
I mean, nah, UFC's on their longest hiatus that there's been in a while. I think like 20 some odd days. We're not getting an event till like January 14th, and it's not even a good event at that.
Yeah, I heard
so
about
that's
that.
pretty quiet. That's pretty quiet. I mean, we got bowl games coming up. We got the thick of them. You know, Toledo and Liberty are playing right now. I'm not sure who you picked in that one. You're winning. You're first place in our bowl thing. So hey, shout outs to Kyle. I'm only one game behind you though. So
yeah, I'm winning. I'm winning jeans too.
yeah.
So I named myself College Game Day Guru. Y'all thought
Yeah,
I was
know.
joking.
I was like, I looked at it and you're tied with first for someone, and then I'm right there
Yeah, I
at
don't know who
third.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
don't know
actually
who that is
surprised to
either.
see that. I looked at, I was like, "There's no way I'm winning this thing."
Well, the reason I'm not with the same record as you guys is because I picked Washington State to win over Fresno
yeah,
State just because
I
the
think
Mike
that's the
Leach
game.
pick.
That a lot of people who were a game
Yep.
back. That's the one that got
Yeah,
them.
yeah. That was I did the Mike Leach pick, so I wasn't gonna pick against any one of his former teams, so that's
Yeah.
why.
Yeah, that
But
makes
yeah,
sense.
I mean that's really it. Nothing really. We're not getting really into a slow point, but it's kind of getting to the point where like things are just idled. You know,
Yeah.
no big news is going to happen till like probably NBA trade deadline around January, February. Then we've got the playoffs coming up. You know,
Mhm.
the college games don't happen still for a couple more weeks, like at least the important ones. So yeah.
Oh, I just looked at Gene's thing. I'm now tied for second.
Oh,
Whoever the Weiss is 9-2, and they're leading the group right now.
what are we tied? Or am I a game back? I probably lost a game. Who knows? I got like 4 losses.
No, we're tied. We're both 8-3 right now.
I don't know what game I got right that you got wrong, but heck yeah.
I think the San Jose State game I got wrong.
Oh, bro, I don't even know who I picked in that game. I don't care.
I'm pretty sure that's one I got because I had San Jose State over Eastern Michigan, and I feel like Eastern Michigan won that game. But
Oh.
oh yeah, well, I mean, we could say this for next week, but we could talk about we're going to talk about All-Star voting in the NBA next week. So I guess you can.
Oh yeah, we
fill out a
can
ballot
honestly
and then
make our little bracket and talk about who we have. You know, go
Yeah.
over them.
So we'll do that
That'd be
next
cool.
week, and by next week we'll probably be ready to talk about college football playoffs. So I think next week's show is going to be very good.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, this one's
For
good as
sure.
well. Not going to sell this one short, but
Oh yeah. This yeah, I mean, this has been a good episode.
yeah, Jordan.
You know?
Final thoughts.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's been a good episode, man. Yeah, we kind of started off a little bit late, but it's all right. I mean, I was coming home. I was, trying to eat some dinner, and
Yeah,
Dylan had his technical difficulties and everything, but we all got it straightened away. Yeah, I mean, we had some good contributions in the chat. I mean, from Evan and Brett.
Even talk hockey.
Talked hockey a little bit, which I mean, I'm all for it. Like because hockey not really a sport we mainly talk about. I mean, obviously, three main sports: NFL, NBA, MLB. But maybe with MLB not going, maybe NHL can bump MLB for now.
Yeah, that would be spot unless like a really big signing happens. Until spring training and all that, not really much to talk about. So we'll just use the top of the show to talk about whatever it's NHL or if UFC has something major or something like that. We'll just save that for that.
It'll be a fill-in spot until MLB's back.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, like I said, a good show. Good. We talked about some good topics. Let's keep it going. I mean, I know this is the last podcast before Christmas, so I mean, hope y'all enjoy your holidays. You know what I'm saying? I did get the Logitech. Actually, I went to Best Buy. My mom said, "Hey, because I'm basically graduated, I could get the Xbox controller, the one you got me. That's what me to get, the white one, and then the Logitech." So I can't use them till Christmas, but I did get them. So hopefully that Logitech does work. I want to test it out, see if I can hook up to my TV or whatever or something like that.
I mean, Logitech usually makes good products. It should work.
Yeah, I just don't know how to mount it to the top of the TV. I gotta figure that out. And I think it comes.
They'll get you a whole kit probably. They'll teach you how. You'll figure it out.
It's like a small little box. I'm not sure how a kit can fit in that. Like,
They'll probably get like a bracket you can screw on to something. There's always something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got those two things. So I mean, it's not really a surprise, but I'm gonna decide it and pick it up. So
fair enough. At least you know what you're getting, though.
Exactly.
Right.
You got any final thoughts, Kyle?
Yeah, I was just about to say, great show. Jordan, Dylan, we always have a good time on here. But like Jordan said, holiday season, so make sure, reach out to loved ones, friends you haven't talked to in a while. This day and age, reaching out to somebody could make their day, and tell your loved ones that you love them, give somebody a hug, just spread love, peace, and all that. So that's kind of all I had. Just in a world where a lot of people want to spread hate and just hate people for no reason,
Right.
you don't have to get involved in all that. It's much
Exactly.
easier to hug somebody and tell them you love them than to find a reason to hate them for no reason at all. That's pretty much all I had to say. But with that, I guess that's another episode of the Big Three podcast in the book. We'll see you guys next week. And once again, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever holiday you celebrate, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah. Sure there's others I missed.
It's your
but
holidays. Spend it however you like.
Yeah, feel free to be you. But yeah, so we'll catch you next Tuesday. We'll be back better than ever. All right, guys. Good night.
All right. Good night. Good night.